Hello and welcome to Marvel Vision, a Marvel Studios TV show podcast brought to you by Cinema Sangha. I am one of your hosts, Kevin Feige. Joining me as he traditionally does.
My name is Derek Faraci, and bitch, this is Little Caesars. We're always hot and ready. How are you, Devin?
I'm good. What's that from?
That is from a story I saw on Blue Sky today about a fight at a Little Caesars here in Michigan, where the person behind the counter jumped over the counter, beat up a guy, and said that as the guy ran out.
Yeah.
And I thought it was very funny.
We have a lot of shit to talk about today, and we ended up having 3 issues of a comic book to talk about that we did not realize we were doing.
Yep.
We thought we were doing 49 and 50 of Fantastic Four, but it turns out the story really begins in 48. And I guess we could have technically dropped in on 49, but it's nobody's first appearance, despite often being sold that way. Galactus appears in a Christmas suit at the end of 48.
Galactus changes his suit a couple of times throughout the 3 issues.
He changes his suit every issue. He's a diva. He's got costume changes, don't you know?
I mean, to be fair, the Thing stops in the middle of the action to take a bath. So, you know.
Let's just get right to news in that case.
All right.
What do we got?
Taika Waititi is making a Judge Dredd movie, or he's been signed on to make one.
Yeah, I would say, is he? Is he? He was making an Akira movie too.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% convinced it's going to happen. I'm curious what it's going to be like if he were to make it. I'm curious how he handles it. I would love if he brought back, what's his name? Bones. What's his name?
Bones.
Carl Urban. If he brought back Carl Urban, I would like that. I thought he was a pretty good Dredd.
What is Carl Urban? He's Australian?
Yeah, I think he's Australian, yeah.
The most country singer name possible.
You're thinking of Keith Urban. That's why you were jumping to that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because the most country singer name possible is Waylon Jennings. There is none that is more country than Waylon Jennings.
Bo Burnham would be a good country
Bo
singer.
Burnham is a good country singer, certainly better than he is as a comedian, I'll tell you that much.
And Dewey Cox, actually, is probably the hardest one to beat.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But I'm really curious what it's going to be like. I mean, my problem with the last Dredd movie was that it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
It wasn't satire. Like, they just didn't do satire. And I know Taika will do that. The question is, will he do too much of that? Big question. Maybe he'll get Judge Death in there.
Maybe.
I would like that very much. Yeah.
That'd be fun. Well, maybe we'll find out one day.
What if it's a multiverse movie and Sylvester Stallone and Carl Urban both have roles in it?
Sure, I guess. We can do that.
What?
Does every movie have to be multiverse now? Is that the law?
Yeah, that's what has to happen. Any movie that has had multiple iterations got to be multiverse now. We got to bring everybody
all
back.
on there.
Once upon a time, you just did like a cameo, like back in the day. Like you would have like
Lou Ferrigno walks by and says something real quick. Yeah,
right. He was in the Incredible Hulk. Yeah, he should walk by and just did a thing. But now you got to actually bring him back in Hulk makeup.
Yeah.
So
remember in what's the name of the movie? There's the movie with The Rock and Sean William Scott, and Arnold Schwarzenegger has a quick cameo where he walks by The Rock and goes, "You're up," as to pass the torch.
Yeah, didn't work out that well.
The Rock's pretty successful.
Have you seen the trailer for his Benny Safdie movie?
I have.
Unrecognizable under all that makeup. Totally looks like a different guy.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of curious. I don't know this guy that he's playing, this UFC guy, but is he as much like a teddy bear as The Rock's public persona? Because that's certainly what the trailer makes you think.
Yeah, I do not know. I do not know.
I'm very curious. I'm very curious.
Between that and Scorsese, The Rock is clearly trying to get himself an award or two.
He's back on the Oscar thing again. Yeah, he wants to get taken seriously because he's made a bunch of stinkers in the blockbuster world. So he maybe is going to try now to get a little bit of juice that way.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it works.
Yeah.
In other news, Naomi Ackie is in talks to join Clayface. She's not signed, but she's in talks.
I like her.
Yeah,
I like her a bunch.
I think the only thing I've seen her in is Mickey 17.
Really? I'm trying to think what else I saw her in. I'm going to have to look it the fuck up is the thing. That's what we're going to do here on this program. We're going to look this shit up.
Old Ben Google.
She's in Lady Macbeth, which I've seen. She's in Rise of Skywalker, which everybody has taken out of their brains.
If you claim.
She's the lady who might be Lando Calrissian's daughter.
Oh, so she's got like 2 lines of dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the ex-stormtrooper who might be Lando's daughter, but they don't actually fucking bother wrapping it up. So,
All right.
that would be like ending Return of the Jedi with like nobody ever saying that Leia's definitely Luke's sister, but they just keep saying like Luke's like, I got a sister somewhere. There's only one other woman with speaking roles in these movies, so
Hey Leia, let's go find her.
she's in a new movie, Sorry Baby, which I've heard is pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. But I guess I haven't seen her in anything else, it turns out. Somehow it turns out I thought I did. Oh, well, okay. I was wrong. Maybe she was just so good in Mickey 17 that I didn't care.
She was great in it. And the whole Clayface thing is really causing a lot of people a lot of problems on Reddit, which I enjoy.
Why? What's happening?
They just can't wrap their heads around the idea that DC would make a movie for like a mid-budget horror movie. Like, what would be the purpose of this? It's like, apparently it's a very good script. Like, apparently that's the purpose of it. Like, hey, this is a good story. We can make it. We make it cheap enough. It'll make money. We're good to go.
Yeah, you make it so you can triple your budget without having to do like super duper business like that.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, seems smart to me. You know, you got to diversify.
Yeah, you do got to diversify. Yeah, I mean that's smart. That's what Marvel always threatened to do and never quite fully pulled off.
I guess they kind of did it with like Moon Knight, or not Moon Knight, with Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, but that was not a movie.
No.
And I remember interviewing. I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I remember interviewing Kevin Feige on the set of Iron Man 2, and his whole thing was that he wanted like 4 Marvel movies a year, and he wanted each one to be a different genre.
Yeah.
So you would get like a dark one in this time of year, and then you get like a big action one, then you get like more of a romantic one or whatever, like mystery, or and they never quite did it.
No. Then the Avengers made $1 billion, and they're like, well, we're going down that path.
I mean, they were going down that path already. Between Iron Man 2 and Avengers is a real couple of minutes,
I guess. Iron Man 2, what, did like 6 something, I think?
Yeah, no, it was a big hit, but I'm saying like they had already decided before Endgame. Oh, you mean the Avengers, the first Avengers?
The first Avengers.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, I was confused. I was thinking, my brain just goes to Endgame because everything is Endgame now.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this movie.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. We'll see. In other news, Michael Waldron has been brought in to work on the Avengers Doomsday script. So the movie is filming, and they brought in a second writer.
Yeah. I mean, again, when I was on the set of Iron Man 2, man, I mean, that's not a very good movie, but they were getting pages from Justin Theroux while I was sitting there. Like, they were coming in, yeah. And Downey was complaining about it. But that is kind of, I mean, I think the thing, again, is that they must have the big beats. They have to. They can't be shooting this movie without the big beats. It's just the little bits that they don't have, and it may be some of like the scenes that they don't have properly. They know there's a scene here. Captain America talks to so and so, but like, what do you put in that scene? So I don't, I think the structure is going to be there. I don't really care that much.
What if they're doing it like Curb Your Enthusiasm style, and they have just concepts for scenes? And the actors are just improvising everything.
But that's actually a really good example, though, because Curb has really strong structure. Like, it's one of the better structured shows. Like, they are setting things up in the first 2 minutes that pay off magnificently at the end.
Yes.
And then it's just the stuff that's happening on screen is the individual. They know the beats. They know the events that have to occur. It's just like how the characters talk and react to it that is improvised. Yes. Just watched Palestinian Chicken yesterday.
Great episode.
Great episode. Should be broadcast right now on all the channels.
I think that's the episode that has like one of my favorite Curb moments.
Which is
Funkhauser comes over to Larry's house.
Larry's having sex.
And with the Palestinian woman, and Funkhauser gives him like a whole big like talking to, and ends it with, "I can't believe you're my best friend," and Larry goes, "You're not my best friend." So long. Like, just Larry's complete confusion by like, what? Like, it's so good to me. It's so good to me.
It's so good. All
What
right,
a show.
what do we got now?
James Gunn is clearing up some confusion over Jor-El's message. I'm going to say we're spoiler safe now. It's been out for 2 weekends.
No,
This is
it's
coming
not.
out.
I don't
It's
think
not?
it's no. 2 weeks is not enough time. No.
All right. Well, he says the message is real.
Yeah, I mean, there's a message in that movie that has caused a lot of consternation online. It's kind of a big reversal of what people expect. It actually has precedent in the comic books.
Yeah.
And it's also a part of what one of the things that Gunn is clearly doing is that he's making a movie that's partially about colonization, both in terms of the modern stuff with the war, but also just in terms of like we're Americans and we live in a country that was colonized by people who maybe didn't have the best fucking intentions all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3 different characters say it, and the most telling one. I mean, again, this is not really a spoiler because, like, we're telling you the message is real. Is at the end, towards the end, when the president of Bravia says to Lex Luthor, "Incredible way that you faked that message," and Lex goes, "Oh no, that's real. Who would have known?"
That's not even towards the end. That's like minutes after the message is
Yeah,
revealed.
so like
Yeah.
it's really clear that it's totally real, and obviously you can always retcon something. You can always walk something back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's possible, but I think this is a better angle for the character, I think, because
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to spoil too much, but it's his Kryptonian parents, and this takes him away from being like obsessed with Krypton and all that shit, which was so tired of from the other movies.
Well, in this was from the podcast Happy Sad Confused.
Yeah.
And in the same interview, the host was like, "So are you going to deal with that in future movies?" And Gunn's like, "I think it got dealt with in this movie.
It's done. Yeah, it's done. Yeah.
So we never need to bring it up again. So hopefully it just never gets brought up again. It just leave it. I don't need a retcon for it. I'm not the biggest fan of what happens.
John Byrne introduced it,
Yep.
which must upset Buddy Todd that John Byrne is getting his Superman is getting canonized in the movies now.
Oh, for sure. For sure. For sure. In other DC news, Booster Gold, the Booster Gold series is being written by David Jenkins, who was the creator of Our Flag Means Death, which is a show I know you enjoyed greatly.
Oh yeah, a whole lot, like a whole lot. It's a really good fucking show, and I kind of hope it's the exact same premise as Our Flag Means Death, because the thing is that Our Flag Means Death is about pirates, and some of them are real pirates, including Blackbeard, but also the main character, Steve Bonnet's a real pirate too. But
Killed them both many times in Sid Meier's Pirates game.
there you go. And these 2 guys, they end up sailing together and they fall in love. And it's not like a comedic. It's like just they legitimately fall in love. Like it's not played for laughs. It isn't anything like that. It's like but very touching, very sweet. And I would love that to be the fucking Booster Gold show with Blue Beetle. I would love that. Like I'm not even making a joke here. Like I would love that. I'm not super interested in either of these characters' heterosexuality. You know what I mean? Like
Neither are the comics.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it doesn't matter to me. So I would love if Jenkins brought that fucking energy to this because it's so great.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Could be a good time. On the movie side, Anna Nogueira, who wrote Supergirl and a draft of Teen Titans, is writing the Wonder Woman script. She has never made a movie.
Yeah, it's okay. I know plenty of people who never made a movie.
No. But let me finish. And clearly, Gunn and Safran are very impressed with her work to give her so many high-profile things to work on.
I mean, she did a draft of Titans. I wonder if this is going to be a draft as well. Like she's going to lay down the groundwork, and then they're going to bring in somebody else to work with it. I mean, that's possible. Yeah. That appears to be what they're doing with Titans, I guess, if she wrote a draft of it, or is she coming in later in the process? Do we know?
As far as I know, she's the only writer to have been on Titans.
Okay. So, you know, we had talked about this a couple of weeks ago on the show where the thing was that Wonder Woman was being fast-tracked, and you weren't sure about that. And James Gunn said it's not being fast-tracked. I mean, it's being developed. And I think this counts as fast-tracked, frankly.
Well, I went back and looked at some stuff. As far as like a month before Superman came out in an interview, Gunn was like, we're writing a Wonder Woman script right now. So they've been working on it for a while. You know, they're just announcing things now. Now that they feel more confident with how Superman has performed,
Right.
I think they're more willing to announce the things they've been working on because they
Right.
know they
Right.
have a couple of years ahead of them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so I don't think it's being fast tracked so much as it's like we're not in the office, we don't know what they're doing every day.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's actually fair, and I think that actually you're right. That the real takeaway from this is that they are happy enough with Superman that they are willing to be public about continuing to develop Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
So, because that was always the big question, right? Was that Superman comes out, what happens to the rest of the DCU? What happens to everything? Obviously, some stuff shot or being shot right now, that's going to happen. But like, what happens beyond that? The fact that they are moving forward with a Booster Gold show, at least a pilot. Obviously, it doesn't mean it's going to be on the air. And then also working on this Wonder Woman script does indicate that they are feeling like they have more to go.
yeah. Also, I should say with the Booster Gold show, I believe it was the Deadline article, although it might have been the Hollywood Reporter article, stated that Danny McBride was originally working on it.
Yeah, he was working on it.
Theorized. Many people have theorized.
Yeah, he was working on it originally, and I think it would have been funny, but I don't know. I've just started rewatching Eastbound and Down, and I've watched recently all of Vice Principals and Righteous Gemstones, and like within like the last 7 months, I've watched all of these, and his humor is amazing. I'm not convinced it's Booster Gold humor.
No, it's not. It's not.
Like he could do a Lobo TV show.
Yes. Well, I mean, I've said since I saw.
This is the end.
No, before that, the dinosaur movie with Will Ferrell. What's it called? Lost.
Land of the Lost.
Land of the Lost. When I saw that, I was like, this guy should play Lobo. Like he's perfect. He's perfect for Lobo. And don't make him get in shape and stuff either. Just let him be who he is as Lobo. Just paint him white with the black stuff around his eyes. Lobo, done.
Right.
Good to go. But nobody listens to me.
Right.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Nobody listens. Yeah, nobody listens.
Nobody listens. Kevin Feige also gave a big old roundtable talk over the weekend, preparing for the release of Fantastic Four, and gave out quite a few tidbits. He says Thunderbolts failed because it felt like homework with too many characters coming from TV. Moving forward, TV characters will be less likely to show up in movies, except for the really big ones like Punisher, I guess, because Punisher's in Spider-Man.
I mean, Punisher's a big character. Like, I think people know who the Punisher is, so, like, it's very reasonable to put the Punisher in your movie, and people go, oh, I know the Punisher. I know what his deal is. I'm pretty convinced She-Hulk is in Doomsday.
Yeah?
I'm pretty convinced. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced. I've heard enough stuff that makes me feel like it's probably the case. Now, it may not be correct, but I've heard stuff that makes me feel that way, so that would be a TV person. But even She-Hulk feels really easy to just slip into a movie. There's not like a lot to worry about there. It's like, here's my cousin Jennifer, but I think that's fine, I guess. I mean, I do want to see Moon Knight and stuff in the movies, and I would love to see a Midnight Suns movie that has some of these supernatural characters like Werewolf by Night and Man-Thing in it. I don't know if they would want, but also Werewolf by Night and Man-Thing, like, neither one of those guys had an origin on TV. And, I think you can just bring them up. Like, I would think, right? Because both of them already exist in the world when that special opens.
Yeah. And I think Superman shows that you can just drop in characters and the audience will be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. So I'm really curious what's going to happen, because also they're going to do fewer TV shows. So I'm really curious how that's going to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm very intrigued.
Yeah.
Also, because the thing about Vision Quest, they're putting some major Marvel characters in there. And so is the idea they're never going to have those characters cross over into the movies? There's some pretty significant characters showing up in there. It's like Avengers characters.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Who can say for sure?
Kevin Feige.
Hard. I don't even think he can at this point. I mean, honestly, I don't think he can. I think, and he's very open about it, that, they leave space for things because you never know what's going to pop.
Right.
So... they say right now, no more TV on characters showing up in the movies. And then all of a sudden, Daredevil Season 2 has 30 million viewers. Foggy Nelson's going to be popping up in Avengers movies, that's how it works. Good old Foggy. Everybody loves him. He also said that Marvel was already moving away from Kang before everything with Jonathan Majors happened. To quote him, we had started even before what happened with the actor happened. We had started to realize that Kang wasn't big enough. He wasn't Thanos. And that there was only one character that could be that because he was that in the comics for decades and decades. Because of the Fox acquisition, we finally had it, and it was Doctor Doom. So we had started talking about Doctor Doom even before we officially pivoted from Kang. In fact, I had started talking to Robert Downey Jr. about this audacious idea before Ant-Man 3 even came out. It was a long plan that we had to take one of our greatest characters and utilize them and utilize one of our greatest actors.
So I actually know that's true because if longtime listeners to this podcast will know that I came on here one time and said, hey, so Marvel tried to get Robert Downey Jr. to come play Doom and he turned it down. And that was like a while ago. And
Yes.
Turns out he did not turn it down. That was the only piece of my information that was incorrect. Was he did not?
He might have turned it down.
He might have turned it down at that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they definitely were talking about Downey coming and being Doom for a long time. I wonder if the problem is not that Kang isn't big enough, but rather that they could already get a sense that that guy with Jonathan Majors was trouble.
I don't know about that, but my theory is at some point they realized the story they were trying to tell with the multiverse. Kang isn't a big multiverse character. He's a time travel character, and he slips into multiverse stories from time to time. But the stories they wanted to do, he's never even a part of them.
Right.
You know, so I think there was a part where it was like, oh, we're using the wrong character for this story. And so, you know, I mean, especially the end of Loki 2, I think does a good job of putting enough of a cap on the Kang story that if he never shows up again, it's fine. You know, because they could have just
I agree with that. I agree with that. And I think that they I don't agree with this concept, but a lot of people are like, of course Kang wasn't a big enough deal. You had him got beaten by Ant-Man. And I don't agree with that. Villains always get beat in their first appearance. That's the deal. However, I do actually understand why when Ant-Man didn't do what they wanted it to do, they began coming to that conclusion. Like, not only do people not particularly see this movie, but also they're complaining that the big bad guy for the next phase just got fucking taken out by Ant-Man.
Yeah.
That might have been the kind of movie where it would have been great to have Kang as a puppet master.
Yeah.
And then have Ant-Man battling somebody else.
Sure.
I like the movie as it is. I think you and I both like that movie, right?
Yes. Yeah. Very much.
So I'm not like saying that that's what they should have done, like for like creative reasons or whatever, but like in terms of like establishing Kang, that might have been
in the same way that they used Thanos originally, right? Like when Thanos shows up in Guardians, he sends out what's his face to go get the stone.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's sending people. I mean, they did their own fucked up thing with Thanos, where Thanos spent an entire phase of Marvel unable to get a single stone, so he had to get all of them in the opening of Avengers Endgame. Or Infinity War, and that was always one of the craziest. Like he never got one stone. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, he was really feeling very ineffectual in that phase. So yeah,
he never got out of his chair.
Never got out of his chair. Well, he did get out of his chair. He went to the wall safe and pulled the Infinity Gauntlet out.
Oh, that's right. I guess I'll do it myself. That was so goofy. Terrible. Moving on from other things that Kevin said, Sony will not let Marvel touch Miles Morales until the Spider-Verse is done, so don't hold your breath.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They've established he exists.
Yes.
You know, so...
And he'll be 35 by the time they're able to use him.
Yeah, you know, that sucks. I like Miles Morales. But the other thing is they have a young Spider-Man right now. I don't, you know what I mean? It's one thing if they had a 30-year-old Spider-Man, but they have a young Spider-Man right now. I don't know, you know.
Yeah. So. They're fine. He also said that Blade is still being worked on, and he said, we didn't want to simply put a leather outfit on Mahershala Ali and have him start killing vampires.
Mahershala.
the important part of the quote is how stupid the quote is.
This quote is not stupid. The quote is not stupid because it goes in line with the complaints that everybody has about the Marvel not starting movies without scripts. Like, if they don't have a concept for what the movie is, you can't just have a guy put on a leather suit and just kill vampires for 2 hours. You just can't. Like, that's not a movie. And I know everybody online is like, oh, that's a movie. Like, I'll watch that. No, you would not watch that. It's just a guy killing vampires for 2 hours. Like, you need a story, and you need, like, a concept, and you need, like, themes, and you need all that stuff. And they don't have any of it because this movie started backwards, because it started with Mahershala coming to Kevin Feige and saying he wanted to make the movie, and Kevin Feige dopily announcing that by bringing Mahershala out on stage. That's the problem. It's not a problem that Mahershala came and pitched the idea of doing the movie. The problem is that Feige fucking was like, we got it, we're doing it. And it's like, are you though, bro? And that feels like a valuable lesson learned. Why do you think that's a stupid quote?
Because I think, obviously you need a story, but I also think, here's a guy in a cool leather outfit killing vampires. That's Blade. That's his whole deal.
I know, but the movies, the good movies had stories. That's the thing. Yeah. Blade had a story. Blade 2 had a story.
But I don't think it's that hard of a story to figure out. I don't. I find it hard to believe that it takes 9 years and 4 different concepts to work on. Like, it's this is, to me, it feels a lot like DC with Flash, where they just could not. They put so much pressure on themselves that they could not finalize a concept, and then they ended up with a smorgasbord of bad ideas into a movie.
Right.
And this at this point feels very similar, where it's like, oh, we've gone through a bunch of directors, a bunch of writers, different time periods for the movie to take place in. They're just kind of throwing everything at the wall. They have no idea. Going back to what you said, was just like, they were like, yeah, let's make this movie, and they had no concept for a movie, and so they're just chasing after something they can't figure out. And at a certain point, either they're going to be like, this is not happening, or they're going to be like, just go with what we've got. We've spent too much time on this, time and money on this already.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where it comes down, but like, the problem is that Blade doesn't have a ton of iconic storylines to work with. Sure. And Blade's main villain is Dracula, and I'm guaranteeing they're afraid to do Dracula.
But Marvel's not afraid to just redo stories that we've seen in other movies, right? Like, the new Fantastic Four movie is the same as Fantastic Four 2 Rise of the Silver Surfer. It's based on one of the classic all-time storylines, which we'll be discussing in a few moments. And so they're not afraid. Like, if they want to, they just be like, all right, we'll just redo Blade and go.
They could. I don't.
Update it for today and make it better.
I think the problem is that Blade is beloved and Fantastic Four 2 is not beloved. I think that's the big difference here, is that if you're remaking Blade, a movie that people really like, then you're going to be compared to Blade, a movie people really like. And that's not necessarily a winning proposition.
At the same time, those people might rewatch Blade and be like, oh, this isn't that good, actually.
Well, I mean, yeah, but people like it. It's one of those movies that people like because they saw it as kids and stuff like that. It's one of those sacred pictures. Yeah. The Mummy sucks, but like, everybody of a certain age thinks that the Brendan Fraser Mummy is like one of the great movies of all time. And it's like, no, it's bad. It's bad. Yeah. It's stupid and bad. But they saw it at the right age, and so anyway. All right, what's next?
He also said that there's going to be more R-rated projects coming.
Oh, so Spider-Man gonna get laid.
Yeah, shooting webs.
Shooting webs.
He's also still happy with the Marvel movie method, which is no finalized scripts while filming, leaving room to find something better, which clearly is what they're doing with Doomsday. So they will not be changing their method on that. Matt Shakman is confirmed for X-Men. The characters will be recast as teens, so
Love it.
We will not see a 70-year-old Beast.
I love it. I love it. Like, this is what I've always wanted. I just want them as teens. That's what I want. Yeah. I want the original lineup as teens.
I don't think you're going to get just the original lineup.
You get more, but I want to see basically the core guys. You know what I mean? Like, you can have 7 characters and 5 of them are their core guys, and there's 2 other characters that are from later on or whatever. I'm very excited about that. I'm very, very excited about that.
Do you think Iceman will be gay in the new movies?
I would hope so.
right? He's
Yeah.
he's got to be, right? Like
I
it's
mean,
it's been long enough in the comics that you can't ignore it.
well, we talked about this before, is that comic creators have come out and said that it was sort of known behind the scenes that Iceman was gay for decades. Like, he
Yeah.
was a gay character. It was just the deal. And he was written that way a lot. And he never had a good relationship with any woman. It was always fucked up and bad. And he was never happy. And even his first appearance, where Jean Grey comes to the school and all the other X-Men are looking out the window and going, "Holy crap, look at this one."
Not
And
just the
he's
other
like,
X-Men.
the Professor X as well.
Professor X being real creepy.
But like fucking Iceman's like, ugh, girls, which is
Yeah.
obviously a play on, he's he's the youngest of them. He isn't girl crazy yet. But the thing is that we don't believe that. We don't believe that he's 14 and not girl crazy. Of course he's girl crazy at 14. Like, that's the deal. Like, unless he's boy crazy, but he's hiding it from himself. So yeah, I really hope that he's gay, and not like in a woke way. I think it's a really interesting piece of that character, So
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. Moving on. He also said that characters like Iron Man and Captain America can be recast. So
did he say can be or will be?
he said can be. I believe he said can be. I know in the notes I will be, but I believe he said can be.
I've also seen it as will be, and I've also seen it as can be in other people's stuff. Like, so I'm not really sure. I haven't looked at the actual quote. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't think they're gonna, but
I think I'm interested to see, because on the one hand, it's not like there's they're running out of Marvel characters. But on the other hand, when you've turned Iron Man into a billion-dollar property, you don't just be like, well, we can never do that guy again.
But the thing is, they don't know how much that's Downey.
It's a lot Downey, but at one time, James Bond was a lot Sean Connery, right?
Yeah.
So who knows?
The problem is that he has like a very like specific death that is like important. And if they're going to bring him back, like, the next news item is about resetting the Marvel Universe. If they're going to bring him back by like altering canon a little bit so that like he never died, then you fucked up a tremendous amount of it. Like, that was like a big moment for a lot of people. Like, people were very moved by that. It baffles me why, but they were deeply moved by that. And because he's the wrong guy to do it.
He's the wrong guy to do it, but it is a really well done scene, and it is a character that the audience had at that point spent 12 years watching, and played by a fantastic actor, and
And then they did actually put a bullet in Robert Downey Jr.'s head after that, but thankfully he survived, so he survived.
And now he's coming back as Doctor Doom, and they're using the scar from that for Doctor Doom, so they're saving money on effects.
But yeah, they can't. I think they can't recast Iron Man. They can have a new Iron Man. They can have somebody else be Iron Man, but I think they can't recast him. But we'll see what happens. I just don't think they can. I just think unless you're. The thing is, I think they're not going to close the door on the first 3 phases of Marvel, which are the most popular stuff they've done.
Yeah, I agree. The way he put it, with as you said, discussing the idea of rebooting Marvel, he said, "Reboot is a scary word. Reboot can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. Reset, singular timeline. We're thinking along those lines." Later, he added, "X-Men is where that will happen next." So
yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, like, it is exactly what the last Secret Wars was supposed to do. It ended up only bringing Miles Morales into the Marvel Universe, but conceptually, it was offering a chance to like shed some canon that people didn't like or were holding things back. And I don't mind that here. Do you know what I mean? Like, the timelines, the universes are all converged, and the Fantastic Four have always been, on Earth, or the X-Men have been there all this time. You know what I mean? I don't mind that. I don't love it, but I don't mind it.
Yeah. If they do that, and they do something like, oh no, the X-Men have always been around, I will be doubly upset that they did not decide to go with Ryan Reynolds' idea for Deadpool 3, which was just putting him into scenes from other Marvel movies. Because they could have used that to be like, look, he's always been there. Like, that would have been great. That movie would not have made anywhere close to the amount of money it made. But I would have loved every minute of it. I would be like, this is genius. This is absolute genius.
Yeah.
And that's all I've got for news.
That's
Quite
it, huh?
That's
That's quite a bit of news. We got a solid half hour of news, and we haven't even Comic-Con hasn't even started.
No, Comic-Con is this weekend. We're going to get some Peacemaker news, I figure.
It's starting tonight, so we're gonna get stuff. There might be stuff coming, but yeah, tomorrow is gonna probably be a big day for the beginning of news, and then we'll see what happens.
We'll get stuff from that, and Fantastic Four is opening tomorrow. Reviews have been very good so far.
My friend Amy Nicholson at the LA Times gave it a very positive review.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah, she did not love Superman.
No,
but she gave this a very positive review. However, Amy, one of my better friends, has truly insane takes on movies. So that was the premise of our podcast, The Canon, was that she would always have the most insane take on something.
The Aliens episode, a personal favorite. Just listening to you and Kumail and Gianni being like, what are you talking about? It is amazing. And then what was it? Was it Goodfellas or Godfather I felt like you almost.
It was Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Goodfellas.
It felt like you were almost losing your entire mind.
Yeah, no, she really hates Goodfellas, yeah. And so that was just like one of those, like, I just don't understand how you can't, like, at least acknowledge this is a very good movie. Like, I mean, like, you don't have to like it, but you have to acknowledge. She's like, I don't think it's a good movie. So she's been always a little bit, that's part of her charm, right? As a critic, she always has these wild takes. But, you know, if she's going to come on board for the Fantastic Four, then I'm glad.
Yes, very much so. And also, she's very good at explaining her takes. She's a very good writer, which is why she's a very successful critic. You know, even if you disagree with her takes, you can understand, you can see where she's coming from and her thoughts.
I like to think she's a very successful critic because of the canon.
Sure.
I like to take responsibility for all my friends' success. It makes me feel very happy and part of it. I saw a great tweet from Dave Gonzalez that says, so far I've read 4 Fantastic Four reviews. 3 of them were positive, and 1 was from David Ehrlich. Like, why they even make that guy write these reviews is beyond me. Like, he's never going to like one of these. He's just never going to. He can't like one of these. It is...
apparently, he liked Endgame. So...
Crazy. Endgame is not good. That's crazy.
Maybe he liked it because he thought it was literally no more. He's like, I don't have to do this anymore. Thank goodness.
Yeah, he didn't like Superman. He's like the guy who didn't like Superman. And not because he's a Snyder guy. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he just was like... And so he doesn't like this. And it's like, well, why doesn't IndieWire just assign somebody else who might not be tortured having to sit through these movies? Like, I don't understand why. I know he's their chief film critic. I get it. Like, but like...
Also, I would not be surprised if those are his most read reviews, because people spread them around, being like, look what he said now.
No, I know that is the case, but like, I don't know. It just...
And he's not doing it for that. He just honestly does not like superhero movies.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the thing is, like, he is stuck. He's in a corner with the superhero movies. Like, I don't think that he can ever like one. I don't think he can really ever actually really like one. Yeah. I think it's like he has too much riding on that persona. Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. It's like it's not up his alley. It's not his strong suit. I don't really understand why there's not another critic that can handle that. They got a bunch of critics at IndieWire.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I do not know. But
I've known David. I don't really talk to David anymore, but I've known David a very long time. Like, so, like, I have known David. So, he's a nice guy. But yeah, he's like, he cannot back down from his opinions.
There you go. How strange for a critic.
I think it's great when a critic recognizes they've been wrong. I think that's some of the best criticism. I think it's some of the best criticism, to be able to reevaluate and say, you know what, I was wrong about this. Yeah, and then come with a different perspective.
Yeah. I don't think it happens that often, though.
No. All right. Do we have letters this week?
We do. And if you have questions, you can send them to us by emailing ask.cinema.com or ask.cinema.sanga@gmail.com. And in the subject line, put what show you want it for, Marvel, Vision, or Bad Batch. If you don't know, Bad Batch is our Star Wars show that we do on the Patreon. And we will then answer your question on that show to make sure you hear it. Charles Villanueva says, setting aside the good storytelling in the film that may come out... set aside the storytelling in the film that may come out of this, do you guys feel... how do you guys feel about the high likelihood that Victor Von Doom in Doomsday will be revealed as a Tony Stark variant, which in turn will push comics to synergize the same way? there's a good chance that the Doom we've known for the past 60 years in the comics will be erased in favor of whatever the Russos are coming up with.
I don't think that'll happen for a couple of reasons. One, I'm not convinced he's going to be a variant. I'm just not convinced. Like, I know that seems like the way to do it. They might, but I think it seems insane to be hyping up how this is one of the great characters and this is one of the best characters in Marvel history, and then be like, he's just Tony Stark. Like, I just think that's like not. Yeah, I think that's just not like gonna happen. But also, despite Tony's parents really factoring heavily into the Marvel movies, in the comics they made him find out that he was adopted. So, like, I mean, like, the comics do bring things in, but I think there are some things they're not going to bring in. I don't think that editorial is going to erase, 60 years of Doctor Doom history. Yeah. I think that's a step too far. What they'll bring in is they'll make characters that are in the movies important in the universe again, or they'll change costumes to more match the movies. They'll bring in...
And primarily with lesser characters.
Yeah, they have...
Oh, yeah, Nick Fury. Okay, Nick Fury's dead, and here's Nick Fury Jr., and he just happens to look exactly like Samuel L. Jackson, right? Like, they'll do stuff like that, but they're, they've never been like, oh, I guess, Spider-Man has to be like he is in these movies now, so we got to DH him and put him back in high school. Like, no.
Yeah, they haven't done that. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think, even if he is a variant, I don't think that... that they're gonna adapt that into the comics. So
yeah, we'll see. If he ends up being a variant, is there any way they can make that work for you in the movie?
I'd have to see the movie. Again, the thing I always use is the return of Bucky Barnes, which when I heard about it back in the day, I was like, this is the worst shit ever. Comics are over. Marvel is fucking just bankrupt. And then it introduced one of the great characters of modern Marvel, and it's an amazing storyline, and it's really fucking well done. So, yeah, I mean, like, you have to see the thing. You can have concerns, but you have to see the thing. So if they pull it off, I'll be okay with it. I don't know how they would do that, but I'm. Michael Waldron's not a dummy, and Michael Waldron knows his comics. Yeah. And so if he's coming in to play around with things, I mean, we'll see.
Well, we'll find out next year, in theory. We'll see. Formerly known as .D says, probably already covered earlier in the pod, but what is each of your favorite bits from the ticket release trailer for Superman, the one that Devin isn't even looking forward to? And why is it the backing singers of the original Trek theme are belting Johnny Williams' score from '78?
Is this question like 4 months old? This has been sitting around.
We got questions.
I don't remember. I don't remember that trailer.
Isn't that the opening of the movie with him calling for crypto?
Was that the ticket release trailer? I don't know. I don't remember. There was a trailer with that, and there was a extended sequence, but I don't recall. I don't know. Sorry, .D, formerly known as FKA.D.
David Beraldi asks, in my hype for Superman, I keep thinking about how we have right-wing scumbag Jack Prosabek to thank for the new DC cinematic universe. Reflect on that. Also, can Devin share any behind-the-scenes info on what James Gunn's role at Marvel would have been if Disney had not fumbled the ball? I heard there were big plans, but have always wondered what they were.
Gunn was going to get the cosmic universe. He was going to get, and they were going to expand the cosmic stuff out a lot. That was going to be the plan. I think, I don't know what their original plans for Phase 4 and 5 were, but I would not be surprised if it was Annihilation at some point. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. It's a big crossover. Annihilus comes, brings the Annihilation wave, brings a lot of cosmic characters together. And then you can spin some of those characters off into their own movies or whatever. But that was always the deal, was that he was going to run cosmic. The thing about Jack Posobiec, it's 100% true. Like, it's that domino meme.
Yeah.
Like James Gunn tweets upsetting joke about pedophilia, and then the big domino is Superman 2025 is fucking amazing. Like, yeah. I mean, that's the deal. And also, like, we wouldn't have elements of that movie without that, because the monkeys are 100% James Gunn's meditation on his own cancer.
Continues to claim it's not. And I am at a point where I'm like, either he's straight up lying, or he's like Spielberg and doesn't even realize his scripts are about his own life.
I mean, it could be that. For those that don't know,
because we know that Spielberg, that's his whole thing, right?
right, he doesn't realize. There's a really great interview. I think it's inside the Actors Studio with Spielberg, where the interviewer is like, "When you made Close Encounters of the Third Kind, did you plan on bringing together your technical cold father with your artistic mother in that final scene where they learn how to talk to the aliens?" And like you could see it on his face. He's like, "Holy shit, I've never thought of that."
Never thought of it. Yeah.
And you buy it because he's really like kind of taken aback by it. Like he's like, "Wow, this movie has a new meaning to me now." It's his own movie, so I guess it's possible that the gun.
It's definitely possible. I'm just not sure I buy it.
I mean, it's obviously a big piece of current events. I mean, I just published my Eddington review, and at the end of it, I do talk about how Eddington is the antimatter version of Superman in a lot of ways. And because Eddington's it's really about how phones and internet and social media have destroyed this country. Yeah. And so that shit's in the air because everybody sees it. You know what I mean? So on the one hand,
that's his claim, is he was commenting on how countries have little armies of people just on social media spreading disinformation and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is they weren't spreading disinformation. They were just saying super shit and fuck Superman and whatever. Cancel Superman. But you know what?
As we know from Peacemaker season 1, they were spreading disinformation. Because according to Peacemaker, online, a lot of people claim that Superman has a poop fetish. Which is definitely what super shit grows out of, right?
That would make sense. That would make sense. But you know what? If he wants to say it, let him say it. Like, he may just be in denial. Like, it's too close to his own deal. He may just be in denial.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It would be amazing if somebody said to Spielberg, "The Fabelmans is all about you," and Spielberg was like, "What?
What?
No, it's not. It's just about the skin." Oh my god. That would be the best if he didn't even realize that was him.
All right. Are you ready to talk about the trilogy of Fantastic Four issues 48, 49, and 50 that introduced Galactus and the Silver Surfer?
Not really, because I still got to find them on Marvel Unlimited.
But, well, when you find those, we could do that when we're between in the interval. Does that sound good? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's do it. Fantastic Four, Volume 1, Issues 48, 49, and 50. The Coming of Galactus. What'd you make that face for? I
was just getting gunk out of my ass.
I always think that you're annoyed at me.
No.
These 3 issues are wild.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good burp. These 3 issues are wild because the storytelling in them is weird, because like the first half of the first issue is a different story, and then the second half of the last issue is a different story. Like, it's like
the ending of the last issue has a moment where Stanley is like, "I know this is a slog, but we got to set up a bunch of stuff tonight." And it's like the weirdest storytelling method I've ever seen. Imagine if at the end of like Fellowship of the Ring, halfway through or the end of Return of the King, halfway through the final sequences, Peter Jackson showed up on screen and was like, "There's just a couple more of these. We just got a couple things we got to wrap up." Like, it's wild. It's wild that they did that in the middle of the storyline.
Yeah, yeah. We open in the end of the previous storyline with the Inhumans, where they met the Inhumans for the first time, and we're like, right, the issue is called The Coming of Galactus, but he only appears in one panel where he's wearing his Christmas suit. And I looked that up, by the way. That is the original coloring.
Wild.
Like,
they must have been like, "We don't have time to redo this. Just send it to the printers. Colorist, don't do that color again. What are you thinking?"
The quick version of what's happening in this disconnected section of comic book that has got no connection to anything else is that they are in Atalan, which is in the Himalayas, and Maximus, the evil brother of Black Bolt, has created a device that will vibrate all humanity to death. That's his premise. He's going to vibrate all of humanity to death.
the biggest rabbit of them all.
By the way, Black Bolt's crown is
I love it.
bonkers.
I love it.
Oh man, I'm not used to like him having that much headgear on. It looks like he had like a neck injury.
It does. It looks like in like 80s movies when they want to make the super geek that had braces and like
the whole headgear. Yeah, he's got the whole headgear. Yeah. So he vibrates. Nobody dies. They watch on TV that everybody just fell down, and Maximus is like, "What the fuck?" And then this is when they realize that Inhumans and humans are the same basic species, and they haven't done the origin, I think, of the Inhumans yet. That the Celestials made them.
Okay.
But I mean, it's that's the Eternals. Man, I think it's also the Inhumans.
Sure.
I think it might be. Anyway, you can see Stan and Jack just like figuring this shit out as they go. Like it's kind of interesting.
I really like when Maximus sets off his machine and Black Bolt flies over, and Maximus gives a big old speech, and then Black Bolt just backhands him.
Does he bitch slaps him?
Like, whack!
That's a straight up bitch slap. Yeah, it's kind of fucking hilarious.
Pretty great.
Yeah, it's really fucking amazing. So defeated, Maximus decides that he's got to get his revenge, and what he's going to do is he's going to create an impenetrable force field around Adelan, and so that the humans can never get there again, and so that he can rule it. He wants to rule. I don't know how that's going to happen because Black Bolt could just turn into jelly by burping. But anyway, the Fantastic Four barely get out of the way of this energy field. But Johnny Storm doesn't want to go because he's in love with Crystal. And Ben Grimm pulls him out just in the nick of time. And Johnny's really mad about it. He's like, "You son of a bitch. Like, I wanted to stay there with her." And the rest of the team is like, back off, bro. As this is happening,
I think they're very kind to him. Actually.
No, they're very kind to him. No, they're very sweet. There's like Sue Storm says, "Don't be ashamed of your tears, Johnny." Very progressive for the 1960s in terms of masculinity.
Oh, very much so. And I very much like that. Ben pulls Johnny out, and he's like, "The kid's quiet. He knows he's lost her. He's taking it better than I would. If anyone ever tried to separate me from Alicia, I got a feeling I'm never going to think of him as a kid again." And the next panel, he's like, "You son of a bitches, why did you do this to me?" It's like, I like that Ben like took the initial reaction. Is like, "Oh, he's okay with it." And then he's like, "No, I'm not." I like that.
Yeah. So we see
I
the
also
Silver
like that they chartered a jet. That the Fantastic
They don't have their own plane. They have to charter a jet. And where do they land
wild.
at? That's like
who knows? Because there's and they fly back over. So did they walked hundreds of miles to an airport and then flew over the thing again? I have no idea.
Didn't they have a bike on the jet? Isn't that the deal? They had their special...
No, that's at the airport in New York.
Oh, but then if they had it on the jet at the airport in New York, then that means they had it in the jet in...
No, they said it was waiting on the...
Oh, it was waiting on the tarmac?
I think that's what it says. Yeah.
Well, we'll get there soon enough. We then see Silver Surfer doing a bunch of surfing. Jack likes to do these big cosmic backgrounds. He's having a really good time with it. And
Stan, not sold on the name Silver Surfer.
Well, why do you say that?
A being whom we shall call Silver Surfer for want of a better name. That is 100% Jack Kirby being like, "Yeah, this guy's the Silver Surfer." And Stan's like, "Oh, fine, I guess."
I mean, I don't know what else you call him because he's got a straight up surfboard. Nowadays, his board is just like a board, kind of like it's got the shape, but this has the fucking fin on it.
Yeah,
he's got the surfboard fin on it. Like he's truly surfing. I love this bit because what happens is the Skrulls see the Silver Surfer surfing the spaceways, and they say, "Black out the whole solar system."
That's amazing.
Because they don't want the Silver Surfer to see them, so that that way he won't bring Galactus to their homeworld. I thought that was really fucking great. It was really good. I also think though, like in terms of shorthand for establishing some of like the bigness of this, that's a really good way to do it because they've been fighting the Skrulls since issue 2, so like that's a thing that we know about. Back on the plane, there are 2 suns in the sky. And everybody's like, "Shut the fuck up, Ben." Like, they are so rude to him here.
He says it. What does Reed say? He's like, "I'm sorry, Ben, I've got to prepare a landing now. Save your little party pranks for later, okay?" And it's like, dude, you can't just look to the right real quick? Like, it's crazy.
It is crazy. Always reading these old comics, what a dick Reed Richards is. He's in these 3 issues, he's a continuous dick. Like, it's like crazy the dickery that he's doing here.
We'll get to it later, but he also grows quite a bit of facial hair in the course of 2 hours.
Well, he is elastic after all.
I guess.
He could probably push it right out. And then they see that there is, in fact, two suns, and one of the suns gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and the entire sky fills with flames. So when they land, they land at, I'm guessing it's going to be Idlewild back then, is my guess. I don't think they had changed it to JFK. But they find the whole airport empty. Everybody's freaking out. He has a really good line here. Listen to the sounds of shouting in the distance. Only a fear-filled crowd could make a din like that. I love that. It's like such a bonkers fucking thing. Johnny just goes flame on and goes flying to the city. And they're like, Johnny, the sky's on fire. Don't do this. He doesn't listen, though. And sure enough, when he gets to the city, everybody's fucking losing their minds. I like that Jack took the time to put a bunch of street signs in here.
Yeah, he really filled that panel.
Yeah, I like that cop was pointing right at us. That cop in the
Yes, he sees the camera. That's why
he's freaking out. He's like, oh shit.
He can break the fourth wall. He's like, what is happening?
He says, it's him, the one above all. And he goes and everybody starts freaking out because like, oh, of course the Human Torch did this. They begin throwing rocks at him. This is my favorite part. A crowd of angry people defeat the Human Torch by hitting with a fire hose.
Not even a fire hose. It's just like a garden hose.
I mean, it's so fucking funny. Yeah. Like, just regular people. This guy's fucking got, like, the bald top. He's got, like, that whole, like, just, like, a couple of comb-over hairs. And this guy fucking defeats the Human Torch. Never even named.
Yeah. No.
Torch should have fallen to his, at least significant injury, but he grabbed a lamppost, and so he's hanging above this crowd. You're right; they had left the flying motorcycle at the airport, and so the Fantastic Four come zooming in, and they're on it. It's Reed, Ben, and Sue, and this is one of my favorite bits in this comic too, because you have to remember, comic time is not real time. Yeah. So they're flying. They see that Johnny's in trouble, and Ben jumps off the bike. Reed says, what happened? Are you hurt? What made you fall? Like, there's no way.
And then Ben has like a 4-sentence response to that. Like, they're having a full conversation in the span of a quarter of a second. I love it.
He says, give your gums a rest, Curly. Give your gums a rest. It's really great. Like, I love it. Because, comic time traditionally is not real time. That's a thing to understand. And that has become one of those things that is hard to adapt into movies, because the Marvel thing especially is characters fighting and having long conversations in the fights, and it's harder to do that. So the crowd's wailing on Johnny Storm, and then Ben comes in, says it's clobbering time, and this fucking guy...
everybody runs away but one guy.
Yeah. And he's like, you don't look so tough to me. You're just made out of fucking orange rock. And you've only been the Fantastic Four for a while now. And
then he fought the Hulk.
He fucking punches him right in the face. And the guy's okay with that. He says, well, a belt in the Labanza will knock the wind out of your sails.
Belt in the Labanza.
I love this stuff, man.
If I had a band, that would definitely be the name of one of our albums.
A belt in the Labanza?
Belt in the Labanza.
But Ben Grimm just gives him a little flick of the fingers, and that knocks this guy out. Yeah, honestly, he's probably got a concussion. They should probably.
Well, he says the next panel. He says, "You can sleep it off here, pal. You'll be snapping out of it in a couple of hours. Then think of all the fun you'll have in the emergency ward, telling everybody what a phony I am." So he's like, "You're gravely injured. I'm just going to put you in the corner. Hopefully, you'll wake up and find your way to a hospital." That's crazy.
So the flames disappear, and they had. By the way, I think one really interesting thing in this comic, these three issues, is that the Fantastic Four accomplishes nothing.
They are essential. Well, no, Johnny accomplishes quite a bit.
He does, but he does it. The Watcher directs him, tells him where to go and teleports him. Do it all. Yeah, but that's
because the Watcher is consistently telling them all what to do at the same time, saying I can't get involved. It's like. My man, you're involved.
You're in this story, man. So they go back to the bike. Ben and Johnny go back to the bike, and Sue's going to chew Johnny out, but Reed says, "Let it ride, honey." I fucking love this stuff.
It's because he's on a motorcycle.
And so this is a good bit here. They're like, "What happened to that fire?" And Ben says, "Maybe they're just advertising some new Joseph E. Levine movie." And Joseph E. Levine was a pretty big producer who brought a lot of foreign films to
Santa
America.
Claus Conquers the Martians is one of his.
Yeah, he also founded Embassy Pictures, and so he brought Godzilla to America and stuff like that. But he also produced The Graduate,
Yeah. Which is after this though. Oh no, I guess not. No, this is after The Graduate.
No, I think what the deal is that they're referencing Godzilla and Hercules and all of his sort of more his sort of schlockier stuff, you know. But I love that though. That's such a weird reference because that Joseph E. Levine has not survived the consciousness. So
there was a part of me wondering is Stanley buddies with Joseph E. Levine?
Was Stanley trying to sell the movie rights to Fantastic Four?
That's also very possible.
It's very, very possible. So Silver Surfer's up in space. He blows up a sun for some reason. I guess to get some wind, to get some waves.
Sure.
I mean, it's pretty odd. But the Silver Surfer's origin also is not established at this point.
No.
When you read these 3 issues, you're like, oh, this is not.
This is not Norm.
Yeah, they have no clue. And we get a bunch more panels of him flying around. Jack loves drawing them. And back at home, Ben lights up a cigarette and makes a phone call to Alicia Masters.
Comics were so different. Just Ben sitting on the phone smoking a cigarette.
I think that, honestly, out of all of them, he probably is the one that best could handle cigarettes. His lungs, I'm assuming, are rocks too.
Yes, I don't know. I would personally think Johnny could handle it best. He's constantly breathing in smoke.
Well, he gets fucked up by smoke in this.
He does, which is a little confusing. But
meanwhile, Sue is mad because Reed never leaves his fucking lab, and she's like, "Jesus Christ!"
No, in most cases, in these old Stan and Jack Fantastic Fours, I am on the side of Sue Storm with these things, where she's like, Reed doesn't pay attention to me. He's constantly just working in his lab. This sucks. Why did I marry this guy? I fully get it. Later on in this issue, she has that, and I fully get it.
Right.
Here, where they've literally just gotten home after the sky was on fire, and she's like, he'd rather investigate that than go to dinner with me. It's like, yeah, the sky was on fire. There's something going on. You're the Fantastic Four. He's got to look into that. I don't know what to tell you, lady.
Do you think his first move is to call the Avengers and be like, "Hey, was that you guys?"
You would think.
Did you guys do that?
Hey, Doctor Strange, what are you doing?
But she's fucking ranting so loud that Ben has to tell her to shut up because he's on the phone. So fucking good. And so she gets on the video phone to the lab, and there's Reed with his 5 o'clock shadow.
I guess haven't even shaved.
And then
literally they just got back to the base.
He says, "For the love of Pete, girl." And then he hangs up on her.
You could take a lot of Reed Richards dialogue and just give it to Dr. Doom.
Well, that's what makes them great nemesis, right?
Yeah.
And so she goes and she's going to go fucking stalk into there. But then Ben goes and sees Johnny Storm's like, "Hey, dames, huh?" And Johnny's like, "Hey, look, I think I'm hallucinating. And because this time the sky is full of rocks. And it's so thick you can barely see the sky through it." And we see a helicopter checking it out, giving us a little bit of atmosphere. It's as though some giant unseen power is toying with us. But Sue busts into the lab, and this really has the vibe of she busted in to find her husband jerking off to porn on the computer. Panel where she's busting in, and he's like, "Sue, darling, no, you can't come in yet." Yeah, it's 100% that vibe right there. But it turns out, actually, he's been getting jerked off by the Watcher. And the Watcher is the guy that made the sky go on fire, and he made the rocks in the sky. When the sky went on fire, everybody freaked out, so he realized, okay, that's not going to work.
Confused by that, too. He's like, I guess you guys aren't used to the sky being on fire, so everyone got scared by it. Come on. Dude, you've been watching humanity since humanity began. You can't figure this one out?
He tells them that Galactus is coming, that shit's going to be bad. Like, this is pretty fucking rough. And he reiterates that he can't get involved because of his vow, which he breaks continuously over the course of these 3 issues. Just nonstop breaking his vow.
Constantly.
Every time he brings up his vow, it's something else that he doesn't feel like doing.
Exactly.
So they realize that Silver Surfer's made it as far as the moon, and shit is looking a little dark because he gets through the rocks and sees that there's a fucking planet with civilization and everything. So Johnny Storm goes to go meet up with him and fuck him up.
My favorite thing in that panel is the thing outside the window pointing at the Silver Surfer like Johnny doesn't see him.
That's really good.
He's right there.
I didn't even notice that when I first read it. It's so good.
Hey, he's right there.
The Surfer is able to just totally fucking dodge Johnny. Not even trying. He's so good on that board. And they can't stop him before he sends a message to Galactus.
I have a question.
What's that?
Can the Watcher turn intangible?
I think so.
Okay.
Why?
Because he's coming up from the stairway access to the roof with Ben, or with Ben, Sue, and Reed. And we see the door later on. There's no way he could fit through that door.
Well, I like the fact that the Watcher, I think he gets different sizes too.
Oh, does he? Okay.
I think so. And that's like, he's like one of those like vague cosmic guys. But I like the fact he's fat back here.
Oh, he's
fat back here. I like that. That once upon a time, the Watcher was chubby as shit. Yeah. And once he began interfering in human affairs, then he began to lose some weight.
Well, clearly at some point, he's watching and he's eating chips.
That's what you do. Yeah, you got to munch. You got to snack.
He's like, I wish they would invent Grubhub to bring stuff to the moon.
Anyway, Thing gets up there and he fucking punches the Silver Surfer off the roof. They're like, Ben, you're gonna kill that guy. And Johnny goes to catch him, but it's too late. He's gone. And the Watcher's like, you know what? You couldn't have fucking killed the Silver Surfer that way. Like, the whole reason he let you punch him was that it would be easy to get him on his surfboard faster. Like, that's the whole deal.
Which is not true, as we find out later. He's unconscious on the ground.
He's unconscious blocks away.
I have no idea where
it does say. Well, it says. I think it says blocks away. I think it says.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure she lives in Greenwich Village. And he says, "Listen, forget about that fucking guy. Galactus is here, and Galactus has shown up in a Pokeball."
He really is.
Got to collect them all, and then when it opens up, Jack Kirby gets to do one of his amazing collage pages. It's so fucking cool. This is the only bit that really, I feel like, kind of captures what they keep saying in this comic, that like it's like beyond understanding and stuff like that. Yeah. This really captures it because it's like so odd looking and like it just feels like the perspectives are off and stuff like that. Like, it's just really fucking great. Great panel.
I was trying to figure out if this is just stuff he cut out of magazines or if he did some kit bashing, took pictures.
I think that he cut them out of magazines, but I think he pasted pieces of magazines together.
Oh, definitely. Right? Like that on the bottom, the ship that has like a room heater, like a personal heater attached to the front.
Exactly. That is? Yeah, that's exactly what that is. Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah. And so I think he's attached pieces. I think he's kit bashing in collage form is my take.
It's really cool looking. That's all I know.
No, it fucking rules. And that cityscape down at the bottom with just the yellow, fucking really good. And so the Galactus' ship lands and he comes out and he looks stupid as shit. Just looks unbelievably stupid.
He looks so terrible. It's amazing.
Also, his like helmet's the wrong size and stuff. Like, they just don't have it here. Like, they just don't really have it.
Not figured him out yet.
Yeah, he got a big G on his chest. In case you don't know who he is, he also is wearing pants here. He will stop wearing pants next issue and then get pants back in the third issue.
Yeah, he's trying out different looks, man.
You know, it's summer. It's hot Galactus summer. Yeah. You know, he's got to do his fit checks. And so that's the end of the first issue that we're going to be talking about. We now go to Fantastic.
What it is. What? Here he's wearing his travel wear.
Is that what it is?
And then in issue 2, he's wearing his workshop gear because he's got to build his whole machine.
That's a good point.
And then in issue 3, he's wearing his dinner attire.
That's a good point. I like that. I like that a lot. There you go. The next issue is issue 49. If This Be Doomsday, we open with the Fantastic Four looking up at the Galactus and the Watcher. They are talking to each other. What happened?
Okay. I got to get to the next issue.
Oh, you got to get to the next issue. Well, they're talking to each other. This panel makes me think that actually Pedro Pascal having a beard as Reed Richards is 100% canonical to this era.
Sure.
Like, I mean, if they're adapting this story, then like that's.
But then he's also got to shave it off halfway through the movie.
That's a good point. He does shave it off halfway through.
They stop so Thing can take a bath and Reed can shave. One of the weirdest things I've ever seen in a comic story.
So
all just in the bathroom together, all of them. Like if I was the Thing, I'd be like, "Can you guys get out? I'm taking a bath." Or if I was any of the others, I'd be like, "Why are you guys stopping to bathe? There's a giant on the roof building an Earth-eating machine."
I mean, Johnny Storm says that.
Yes.
To be fair, Galactus.
And the rest of them act like he's crazy. like whatever, dude.
Galactus is having a heated argument with the Watcher, who's a fatso with muscles. He's like a James Gandolfini. That's like kind of the Watcher's deal here. He's like a fat guy who can beat you up. And so they are talking and they are having this this conversation where the Watcher's like, "You can't do it, buddy. There's got intelligent life here." And he's, "What the fuck do I care? I'm Galactus, man. I'm Galactus." And this is one of many times in the comic where somebody's like, "See how he ignores us? As if we're of no consequence." So Galactus, now we're not wearing any pants, goes and poses on the side of the building.
Hangs dong over New York right there.
That's what's happening there. And so Ben Grimm is like, "Hey, you son of a bitch, you oversized creep. What do you think? We're gonna wheel you down to size." And Galactus's response is great because he's like, "Watcher, since you seem familiar with these puny creatures, I suggest you advise them to hold their tongues before I erase them with one stroke." He doesn't even acknowledge the Thing.
Nope.
And so they're arguing still because Galactus needs the energy from this planet to survive. And Watcher's like, "Yeah, but you always take it from planets that don't have life." Like, which also is not true. Like, we know that because obviously Norrin Rad sacrificed his humanity to protect his planet.
Yeah.
Shambhala is the name of his planet. Ben Grimm just keeps on fucking like yelling at him, just yabbering at Galactus, and then he goes and he punches him in the back of the fucking calf, and Galactus shits a little bomb at him.
Just a little bomb pops out.
I like to imagine that it literally comes out of his ass, because it looks like it's like anal plug shaped, kind of. Like,
I suppose it is.
It would really go right in, like especially how big his asshole must be. Like, I think
it's gotta be huge.
I would imagine any of these characters could, at his height, probably could get their whole head inside his asshole.
Well, here's the thing. His height changes, which they also set up. Because at one point earlier, Sue or Reed or somebody says, "Look at the size of a ship. He must be a giant." And the Watcher says, "Galactus is as he wishes to be."
Right.
Which suggests the idea that he can change heights and stuff, right?
Yeah, so I guess if he wants to have a whole person in his asshole, he could just make himself bigger.
Because here, the Thing is up to, like, his thigh.
Right.
So Galactus is not the big Galactus that we know and love today. He's much smaller. Like, he's standing on the roof.
Yeah.
You know, like, where today, in the comics, he is bigger than a city, right?
Yeah, no, he's I mean, it depends. Like, he can be city-sized.
Yeah.
But when he's floating around in space very often, he's depicted as, like, looking over the rim of a planet and stuff like that. The butt bomb that Galactus sent is full of itching powder, which he must have gotten in one of these comic book ads, is my guess. So Reed wraps Ben up in himself and just makes him cover his face and hands and rolls him out of the way of the itching powder. And Ben is in a lot of fucking pain. And now, because Johnny is the dumbest fucking guy on this team, already he rushed into action without thinking and found that was a bad idea last issue. He just watched Ben get fucked up. And now he's going to fucking charge Galactus. And they're like, "Johnny, you can't hurt him with your flames." He goes, "Yeah, maybe not."
I mean, you're right, but, you know, gotta do something.
Galactus absorbs all the flames, and then he shoots Johnny with beams that I think this is not scientifically coherent, is my guess.
He makes the electrons in his flames contract, which causes smoke and ash.
Yeah, I don't know that I believe that this is real. I don't know that I believe that this is actually how things work.
I mean, to be fair, Johnny Storm is not the science guy.
He hasn't even been to college yet.
Yeah, he's just about to go to college, apparently. and apparently he just barely got in, as we see. So, like, I'm not going to take science information from Johnny Storm, which this is from Johnny. Johnny's the one who says this. So
maybe if I was writing Fantastic Four, like one of the things I would have is Johnny keep busting into Reed's lab with like totally idiotic scientific ideas. But Reed, because of how Reed is, he's like, I've never considered that premise. We should test it. And then, just.
I mean, we live in that world right now where somebody goes and would be like, what if there was some kind of large car that could drive people to destinations but only hit certain spots? And they're like, yes. And then everyone else has to be like, idiots, that's a train or a bus. We already have that.
We've had that for a long time. He gets his fire put out by this soot, and Watcher says, get the fuck out of here. Like, you're just making things worse, guys. And Galactus is looking for... Galactus is looking for the Silver Surfer. So they go downstairs, and Johnny's pretty upset. He has another thing. He made me feel like a mosquito. And he's like, we got to do something.
Made a monkey out of me.
And Sue's like, no, Reed wants us to hang out. Why don't you get cleaned up? And that's when he goes into the bathroom and busts into Reed and Ben. Reed's shaving, and Ben's taking a bath. Ben has to take a bath, I think.
Yeah, I guess he's got all the stuff on him.
Yeah, right? I think he has to, right? That's the thing. Because it was like, don't get it in your eyes, don't get it in your nose. Like, I think he probably has to get that shit off of him.
Well, here comes my next question.
Yeah.
In the Baxter building, the Fantastic Four all share one bathroom?
Yeah, it's like the monkeys.
Which one's the Mike Nesmith?
Reed is the Mike Nesmith. Yeah, Reed's the Mike Nesmith. Johnny's the Davy Jones.
Yeah.
Sue's the Peter Tork.
And thing is Mickey?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that works.
I think that works. I think that does work.
Although I would actually say Peter is the thing. Because Peter is more of the sad guy.
That's true.
And Mickey is more wild, but Sue is not wild.
But the thing is that Sue, like Peter, is traditionally, and this is just how they wrote the character back then, traditionally useless in most of these stories.
Yeah.
And that's a big Peter thing. Like, he just does not have anything to do in any of the Monkeys stories.
That's his whole storyline in Head is about that.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But it's pretty good because Reed says, listen, you stink. You should get in the shower yourself. But I actually agree with Reed. Here's the thing, is that the Watcher told them to take off. They have not been able to make a dent on Galactus. And they have to figure out what to do next. And, like, one way to think is, like, take a bath, take a shower. Your best ideas come to you in the shower.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's the deal. The thing appears to be washing his balls in the next panel.
It's his foot. I believe it's his foot.
Is it his foot? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it is his foot. That word balloon really makes it confusing.
It makes it a little hard to tell.
I'm like,
I'm sure it's his foot. Yeah.
So Ben says, I belted that Silver Surfer clear across town. And in fact, he starts waking up. He happens to be directly on the skylight above Alicia Masters' apartment. And even Stan is like, I know, this doesn't make any sense. Because he's like, what does he say here? Is it the next page he says it? Like this?
I think it's the next page.
The page. Truly, the workings of fate are strangely unfathomable. So he opens he starts peeping at her, and then he decides to go.
He's pulling a real George McFly.
He is like fucking like spread out on that. She didn't hear him land on it. Like, that's kind of amazing in and of itself, right? And then he decides to climb in, which is so creepy. And he meets Alicia, who puts him on the couch, and because he's so fucked up.
Does she put him on the couch, or does he fall on the couch?
Oh, that's a good point. He probably falls. I bet she couldn't pick him up, right?
No.
She begins feeling him up and recognizes how sad and lonely he is from his face, and he's really being a jerk. Nobility, the word has no meaning to me. You do not see, are all earthlings thus afflicted?
He's really confused by food.
Yeah, he's really confused by food. I mean, maybe the story, I don't remember. the revelation about Norrin Rad. Maybe the story is that he lost his memories.
I don't know.
That they were erased. I mean, I don't remember that though. I don't recall. Alicia's pretty chill. I guess because she's blind, she's pretty chill about it. She tries to give him food, and he's like, whatever. And then a couple pages later, he just disintegrates all the plates, the cups, and then begins disintegrating things around her room, her apartment.
He tells her like her art is pointless. He's like,
yeah, it's pointless. Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. Why don't you get a real job? Back at the Baxter building, Galactus is constructing a giant machine on top of the building, and it's pretty cool. I like it. It's a big Kirby machine.
It's awesome. Yeah.
And they're looking up there, and they're watching all this shit come up to the side. And so this is a very funny bit here. Ben says the street's all roped off down below. Even the cops don't know what to make of it. I'm like, you're the Fantastic Four. Why would the cops possibly know what to make of a giant man building a machine on top of the building? This is not normal police business.
No.
Like, I mean, even in the Marvel Universe. And Reed's like, Sue, stay here. You're useless. And she's like, no, you can't leave me behind. He goes, it's an order, lady. Such a dick. Such a dick. So they go back up on the roof, and
they go to get out on the roof, and the Watcher's like,
pops
wait,
up.
you can't go.
Right. He pops up.
I can't interfere, but I'm going to tell you not to go.
Yeah. He's like, don't go up there. Like, your strength is not the equal of your courage. Like, you can't really do this. I got to tell you something. And none of these fucking guys want to listen to him. He's like, I got to tell you something. And Ben's like, shut the fuck up. And
Ben has one of my favorite lines.
Which is what?
That foghorn Fink has been treating us like a bunch of insects since he landed, and I've had it.
Right up to my baby blue peepers.
Foghorn Fink.
So the Watcher shows them a movie, and it's a movie of what's going to happen next, which is that when the machine is completed, the Galactus is going to drink all the oceans, going to leave everything, all the sea creatures are dead, and there's no more water on Earth, and then he's going to come for the cities, and he's going to turn that into energy, and then when the husk of a planet is there, he will finally pull the molten core out of the planet, destroying it completely. And they're like, wow, that's bad. He gets his Pokeball and takes off. So the Watcher, so Ben's like, what are you doing? We're not going to take this lying down. And Watcher's like, yeah, I get it. But like, guys, like, do you have a plan? You're going to go back up there and punch him again. Like, that was your plan? Get her? Like, that's what's happening here. They're doing get her. Even Reed's like, plans are a dime a dozen. It's power they need. And so that's when the Watcher's like, there is a thing, only the Human Torch can get it. This is when Surfer's disintegrating everything in Alicia's house.
First off, the Watcher is really skirting the rules here.
Yeah.
Because he says, I am forbidden to actively participate. But I can show him the way. He's
following the letter of the law, but not the spirit. That's what's happening here. Back at her apartment, Alicia realizes that the Silver Surfer is going to aid in the destruction of the Earth, and she starts begging him that people are good and stuff like that. She does that whole thing, and the Silver Surfer like falls in love with her.
Yeah,
says, at last,
he's never seen anything. He's never seen beauty before.
Yeah, at last I know beauty. And she's like, great, so you don't have to do this. Like, I knew it. You're not a soulless monster. You can help us. And he's like, no, I serve Galactus. And so he doesn't want to do it. But then he goes and does it's like so good. It's like a melodrama. Like the way that he's like at the window and he's like looking out across the city. He's holding his hands there and he's like arguing with her, but he starts to really feel it because she says, look at the people on the street. They deserve to live. And we get a little bit of a thing. Do you know what actually I meant to tell you about in the opening?
What?
This reminds me of this because this is about people on the street responding. I've been reading the One World Under Doom event on Marvel Unlimited, and there are 2 issues of Doctor Strange of Asgard that are out right now. And in the previous event, Doctor Strange lost the Sorcerer Supreme title and Doom took it. Okay. And so now Strange has gone to Asgard to try to become their Sorcerer Supreme, and he gets caught up in a murder mystery. But like It's actually really interesting because it's not a super mystery because he watches Loki kill this person, but Loki's like, I didn't do it. Somebody was controlling me.
Sure.
But what's really interesting is that he gets a job as a doctor in Asgard. And since none of the characters are the big Asgard characters, it's all about regular Asgard people.
Okay.
And which I know is something you've always been really curious about.
Yeah.
And so we get like a whole bunch of regular Asgardian shit. Like just like pretty much like even the regular Asgardians go off and have like troll adventures and shit like that. But also they have to go to the doctor. There's an old lady with a bad rash that he has to treat.
Wonderful. I love it.
It's really good. The art is gorgeous. It is gorgeous art. It's really terrific. I think I figured out who did it already, but it's only 2 issues, and I think I figured it out. But I guess we'll see. There's enough characters that you can make theories about different characters because Strange finds out that Loki was in fact not in control of his actions at that time.
Okay.
Also, Strange.
Doctor Strange and Wonder Woman, very similar storylines right now.
Really? What's Wonder Woman's story?
In Wonder Woman, there's a murder on Mount Olympus, and they bring in Batman.
Oh, that's happening right now?
The last issue I read was the first part. I believe it's still going. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
It's with DC Unlimited or DC whatever.
Infinite.
A month behind. Infinite.
Well, yeah. If you want to fire up, when you have your Marvel open, like, and take a look at Doctor Strange of Asgard, I really like it. Again, the art is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
But it's all regular Asgardian everyday people, and at one point, Doctor Strange is like, you know what? These immortals are pretty mortal. Like, they will never die of old age, but they can definitely fucking break their bones. They can definitely get killed. Like, so it's kind of cool. Right. We get the people on the street. The guy smoking a cigarette on the he's I guess the reporter, right? And
on a cell phone.
I think he's just on like a radio that's connected to, because it appears to be connected to something behind him. I think that he's doing voiceover over the camera footage.
Oh, okay.
But during it, he's like, this is the biggest story of the age. And the cameraman's like, I got a hunch it's going to be the last story of the age.
Shut the fuck up, Phil.
Dude, what are you doing, Phil? Galactus begins, he's assembled his machine. All he has to do now is he has to do a pec fly where he has to bring 2 things together. He's working his pecs right now. And he's about to, however, in true both comic, Marvel, and Galactus fashion, he has to bring these things together 2 inches, and he stops to give a whole speech to himself.
Yep.
To himself. Like, it's incredible. I love it. And he puts the 2 pieces together, and didn't work. Turns out that Ben Grimm broke the machine.
I love Ben Grimm's just smashing it, and Galactus is like, what are you doing? Do you have any idea how hard it is to get parts?
Ben hits him with the machine piece and knocks him off the side of the building, and then Reed cannonballs him, trying to get him into the river, but it is no...
Reed cannonballs him in the balls.
It does.
It looks like he's hit him right in the junk.
He got him right in the walk. So it turns out, though, that he's not going to fall in the crowd. He's floating. And this is when Galactus is like, oh, enough of this shit. And he sends up a signal to his Pokeball, and the Punisher comes down. And
I thought, by the way, that one panel of him pointing up, when I was
the middle finger.
I thought it was the middle finger. I was like, whoa!
It really does look like that, and I wonder if that's like a little bit of an insidey joke, like they're like making that joke in the bullpen.
Yeah.
The Punisher comes down, and this is among the stupider looking guys. I would say easily.
I love this guy so much. This guy does not say a word the whole comic. So for me, anytime he's in a panel, all I'm hearing is like he's just making goofy noises. He's like a weird robot frog man.
Yeah, he's really weird. He's little too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he reminds me. Remember on the final seasons of Rebels when they had Thrawn had that little assassin guy who was just too small and silly to ever take that seriously.
Assassin baby legs. Yeah,
assassin baby legs. It really feels like that. Meanwhile,
do you think at any point when they were creating the far better known Punisher, anyone at Marvel was like, you can't use that name? Galactus has a little creepy dude that's called Punisher.
I'd have to look in my copy of Ohatmu to see if the famous Punisher is listed as Punisher too. I have to see. I'm really curious about it. Does the original Punisher get his own entry even in Ohatmu? I'm not even convinced he does. I guess
He
I'll find out.
He should have his own series. He's so goofy looking.
He's so stupid looking. Meanwhile, inside, Johnny wants to get out there and fight, but the Watcher's like, no, you have to actually leave the planet. And he hits him with a brain beam that sends him outside the time continuum.
That first panel of him leaving the time continuum is so cool looking.
This is like the annual that we read.
Yeah.
Where it's all red and he's just only coloring, he's only drawing the highlights and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's so cool looking. Like Frank Miller clearly looked at that and was like, I'll do a whole series like this.
Yeah. The Watcher spends a lot of time telling Johnny that where he's going is so weird that it cannot be described, and he just keeps talking about it.
And Johnny's like, it's just a lot of blackness.
He has to do a slalom through a bunch of. It's he's going through rings like he's Sonic the Hedgehog, and he finally finds a planet.
Rings of Unlife, by the way.
Rings of Unlife. Yeah, there's a lot of really good dopey Silver Age concepts in here. There's one point where Galactus talks about his Absorba shield. Like, Absorba? Like, come on, guys. What are you doing? I know this is the era. I get it. But, like, Absorba shield? He finds Galactus's homeworld, which is, in fact, a giant space platform, which is so cool. It's a Mobius strip. And it's really fucking cool. And it's just like a classic. It's like bigger than like 10 planets. Like, there are planets that are around it.
It is, I would argue, the most iconic Kirby ship, right? Like, I think it's still used in the comics.
Well, so here's what's really interesting. We had watched the trailers for Fantastic Four, and you were disappointed that we did not get the classic Galactus ship in the trailer. They go up to a spaceship, but it's not the classic ship. What if they're really just doing this story? Like, where legitimately the Galactus's cool ship, his world ship, is like parked in another fucking part of time space.
I will be so excited if like they're like, oh, Johnny, you got to go travel across the expanse of infinity and go to his ship. I'll be like, this is great. I'm so excited.
I mean, I can imagine Silver Surfer taking him there in the movie, and I wonder if they're going to bring the Ultimate Nullifier into the movie.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to stop Galactus in the movie.
So
I still wonder if the Watcher's in the movie.
Oh, good question. So back on Earth, the Punisher jumps down. He's about 4 feet tall. He's like really stocky, and he's strong enough though to push the thing back.
You know what Punisher looks like?
What?
He looks like 8th generation He-Man toys.
He does.
Where they're like, we're out of ideas.
His name would be Frog Legs.
Pieces. Yeah, we just have these pieces, just jam them together. What do we get? He's a Ram Man mixed with Frog Man, and they're like, good enough, go.
Yeah, that's so fucking good. Oh my god, it's so funny. He's strong enough to beat up on the thing, and Reed's like, buddy, like you got to actually fight here. You can't just like fucking rain blows on this guy. He's very strong. The Ben finally gets a good punch in. There's a bunch more punching back and forth, and then Reed wraps the guy up in his body and has Sue, after this guy fucking goes like hyperspeed,
just fucking wrecks them.
Just wrecks everybody. It's really good. She puts up a force field that Reed is dragging his loose body into. And they get into the force field, and Thing wants to get out to fight this guy, and Reed's like, come on, buddy, he just beat the shit out of us right now. And he's like, anyway, like Galactus brought him down to like stop us from bugging him, so maybe if we just sit here, he'll go away. And sure enough, he does. Galactus is like, he's hitting the force shield for a little while, and Sue's like, I don't know how much longer I can handle this. But spring fashion Galactus with no pants says, go back to the ship, you fucking little weird frog man. And
he gives a little cracker and sends him off.
He does. He's like, who's a good boy? Who's a good Punisher? Go home, boy. Go home, boy.
You're a good Punisher.
And so now there's a whole panel. There's a whole panel where the characters just keep reiterating everything that we already know. It's kind of funny. Like, we already know it from this comic, even. Like, meanwhile, Alicia is turning Galactus, Silver Surfer, real honeypot stuff. She has used her feminine wiles, that giant forehead she has. That she's got a 5 head in the second panel.
She's got a big forehead, yeah.
She is doing it to turn Silver Surfer into a good guy. And he's like, fine, I found something worth protecting, even if I have to battle the master. And he comes flying forward, and the Watcher, who's still inside the building, I don't know what's happening in this panel.
Watcher's like just looking out the window. He's like, hey, what's going on over there?
He's like, should I order a pizza?
Second panel of him is 100% should I order a pizza face.
It really is. He's like, oh boy, the Silver Surfer's turning against Galactus. This could mean the actual destruction of Earth. Maybe this has become too complicated.
I should get the dominoes now because I'm not going to be able to get it later if the Earth is destroyed.
That brings us to issue 50. An incredible cover, by the way. Like, the cover's good. Like, the Silver Surfer, like, coming at us, and the cover's really good. The startling saga of the Silver Surfer. But what's really funny is that, at last, the Human Torch in college. This is the end of a 3-part storyline that is the destruction of Earth. And they're like, don't worry, guys, just college stuff in this. Like, you stick around.
And this is... well, first off, I'm going to disagree with you. I don't think this is a good cover. I'm going to be very honest with you. Just a very, like, shit brown background.
Yeah, it's not a great cover. Yeah,
if you look, you'll notice the heads of Thing, Reed, and Sue are the same heads in the indica in the corner.
Yeah,
they just pasted together a cover real quick.
I mean, I wonder if they came up with this cover with the Surfer, and then somebody was like, "No, we got to have more shit here. Like, there's not enough shit on this cover."
Do you think they were like, this is going to be the first ever holographic foil cover? And then
that's
they're like,
what they thought.
We don't have the technology for that, actually.
We're still like 25 years away from inventing that.
Because that's what this looks like. Like, and the Silver Surfer will be holographic foil. That would be great. Like, but it's just a very bland cover. Especially, like, I know at this time, 50th issue was not a celebration thing.
Right.
You know, they did not do those kind of anniversaries at this point. But, like, it's just such a... Especially the last two covers are so... iconic. And then you get to this and it's like, oh, we forgot to make a cover.
I mean, I guess the brown would stand out on a newsstand where everything's very colorful.
I guess.
I don't think that was the purpose. I think that you're probably at least a little bit correct here. The Silver Surfer, the startling saga of the Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer shows up. Galactus has rebuilt his world machine, his world-eating machine. And he starts going up to Galactus and giving him guff. And he's like, these are not ants, master. They think, they feel. They have even created the primitive civilization which we see all about us. And
if we're being honest, he's going up to him. He's like, I got a chance to get laid. So if you can...
Yeah, it's like, I met a girl. Listen, I met a girl. So, like, I don't remember my girlfriend from Shambhala. Her name's Shalabal. Am I wrong about the name of his planet? Shambhala?
I think that's it.
I think it's Shalabal and Shambhala, huh?
Yeah.
I guess that actually fits with how they wrote comics back then. And so he's like, I'm going to fucking fight you. And he goes, you have never even seen my power. And Galactus is like, give me a fucking break. I mean, I guess he has so much not an origin that it's not even clear, like, what power Surfer has, like the power cosmic.
Yeah, they never call it power cosmic in this.
And it's never, Galactus isn't like, I gave you that power, asshole. Like, he never says that because that's
No, he does.
He says, I gave that power to you?
He says, remember, Master, even you have not witnessed the full extent of my own power. And he says, you challenge me? Have you forgotten? I am the power.
I don't think that he's talking about your power. I think he's talking about his, like, God status there.
Okay.
Because these stories, he's like God here. That's the thing. That's like one of the things that Stan is doing is that Galactus is like a fundamental force of the universe. They then eventually went back and like filled in why that is and stuff like that. But then also there's a great panel in the second issue where
he also says like Surfer is not his first herald.
Does he say that?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he does. He says something along the lines of like, of all my heralds, you were my favorite or whatever, right?
He says she'll come back, is what he says. I don't remember that part. But there's a part in the second issue where the Watcher says that Galactus is the only being in the universe powerful as me. And I'm like, no, that is definitely not true. Like, they put a power limit that they probably shouldn't have done because, boy, is everybody much more powerful than these two.
Yeah.
So Silver Surfer, is he like spinning Galactus like a top?
He is, right after Galactus gets real romantic about it, too, which seems very rude. Because Galactus says, you who have spanned the galaxies with me, felt the winds of space caress your brow in my service. You have chosen to betray me now. It's like, oh. He's got love for Surfer.
This is a good line, though. Surfer says, betray you never, but in truth, I should betray myself if I did not fight to prevent the annihilation of a people. Here, on this lonely little world, I have found what men call conscience. And he spins the Galactus around and around and around to make him sick, and then Galactus vomits up a whole shield around himself. And he's trapped inside the shield, and it solidifies, and Reed's like, oh, it's an energy shield that the Silver Surfer created, and Ben's like, let me touch it. That really is it. He's like, I gotta touch this.
So good. And Reed's like, don't fucking touch it. He's like,
don't do it.
I'm gonna touch it.
I'm gonna touch it. Yeah, I'm gonna touch it. And he gets shocked pretty badly. And Reed's like, I told you, dummy. And also, then it begins to shatter. Like, get out of the way. And the thing blows up as the three of them jump away. And Galactus is like, give me a fucking break, my herald. And so they start fighting again. Silver Surfer renounces being his herald. Big moment here. He quits his job. He says, if you served me well in the past, you shall do so again. All eternity awaits me. I can afford to be patient. That's like real, like, okay, go with that guy. You'll be back with me again soon enough. It really is a romance thing here, isn't there?
Yeah.
They call his Silver Surfer's power Starfire.
Yes.
The impenetrable absorber shield deflects the Starfire. So he starts shooting at the Surfer, and Surfer's like, he has to know I can dodge all this shit. And Galactus is like, yeah, I know you can dodge this shit. He's like, but here's the thing. I'm Galactus. I'm going to fuck you up. And the Watcher shows up, and he starts philosophizing about how Galactus is not good or evil. He's above both concepts. And that's when Reed's like, what happened to the Human Torch? And like, fucking... The Watcher has ordered a pizza, and he ate the whole thing, and he's not feeling good about it. Like, look at this face on him. He's not feeling... He's like, you guys got Tums? I shouldn't have got the pepperoni and the peppers.
What's that sound again?
That's an airplane.
I can hear it real loud.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's an airplane. Maybe it was a helicopter. I might have been a helicopter. So what? You used to be the one that didn't want to talk about the noises in the background.
But anytime I fucking sniff, you're like, so I'm going to bring up when there's a goddamn helicopter landing right outside of your apartment.
I love it. I love talking about it, though. I love talking about the noise. I'd like to acknowledge it for the listeners at home. I think it's important to be transparent about what we're doing here. So Reed's like, what are we supposed to fucking do? Like, we're waiting for Johnny to come back with whatever you sent him to get. And the Watcher says, emulate the Watcher, stand and observe, which is I really like a lot. He's like, it's like, shut up and just stay there.
You want some of these chips? I ate too much.
And so Johnny Storm is back in space, and the Watcher begins drawing him home. He once again goes back through his path that he went through last time. He materializes on the roof, and he says he's freaked out. He has had a bad acid trip. And so Johnny's like falls to his knees, and he's like, I traveled through worlds so big. There aren't words. We're like ants, just ants. And Reed has the most amazing response to this trauma that Johnny is carrying. Easy, Johnny. Try not to remember. And then Reed decides
hold on. He says that as he's reaching down Johnny's pants.
He's reaching down Johnny's pants. So... Listen, lad, just don't think about it. It's very disgusting. Yeah. The Watcher's like, don't worry, like, he can't remember this shit. This human mind is not meant to see this stuff. And they have this weapon, and Reed's like, okay, I'm going to fucking shoot it. And the Watcher's like, no.
Wait, hold on. First off, Reed Richards, smartest man in the world, gets this weird device, instantly points it at the Watcher's like, is this what it is? And the Watcher's like, what are you doing? What is wrong with you?
Oh my god, it's so amazing. The Watcher's like, listen, you could fucking destroy the whole solar system on that setting right now. You got to lower it. And Galactus and Silver Surfer are still fighting. This is why I think that he has not given Silver Surfer his his powers, because he says your power is greater than I suspected, Herald, but it is still as nothing compared to mine. So I think that, like, Galactus would know what the power cosmic is. So Galactus is like, okay, fine, you want to fucking save these people? I'm gonna get you off my back by killing as many of them as I can. And he's like, you can go save them. And Silver Surfer's like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. You're not gonna get me. Fuck you. He's like, I'll just fix it when you leave. And he is like, he doesn't say you're my favorite Herald. He says, for all who live, I have cherished you the most.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not clear there were other Heralds.
Very romantic.
And this is when he's going to kill this. He's finally like, okay, enough. I'm just going to fucking just erase you. And that's when Reed puts the ultimate nullifier directly where Galactus could grab it, like directly where his hands are.
Yeah.
And Galactus is like, what are you, fucking crazy? Like, what?
Everyone's like, again, Reed, the smartest man on the planet. These Watcher and Galactus both times are like, what is wrong with you?
What are you doing?
Like, guy.
He's like, you could destroy a galaxy. You could lay waste to a universe with that. And Reed's like, should the universe crumble, can Galactus survive? And that's when the Watcher's like, Galactus like, you Watcher, you son of a bitch, you did this. You gave them this fucking thing. So he's like, these children, you've given a child who lives in a tinderbox a match. And Watcher's like, yeah, pretty much. And so Watcher's like, listen, like, they're pretty great, man. Like, I think that you got to recognize they're pretty cool. And in fact, we were not once that different from them. And Galactus like, what am I supposed to fucking do? I'm going to starve to death. And Watcher's like, come on, there's a million fucking planets, bro. Like, I love that his take is like, there's a lot of planets, man.
Tons of places you can go.
So they make a trade. Galactus will leave in exchange for getting the ultimate nullifier back. So for the first time since the dawn of memory, my will has been thwarted, but I feel no malice. Emotion is for lesser beings. And then he stops and he fucking takes away. He must have given him his space-time powers because he takes them away. And so this is the origin of. In the original stories, for a long time, Silver Surfer could not leave the Earth. Yeah. There was like an invisible barrier that stopped him when he tried to leave the Earth, and that's what happens here. Galactus transforms into a living, raging fury of pure power as the very atoms in the air seem to crackle in elemental disarray. And then he gives himself a whole long fucking speech to himself, too, here. And this is
a long speech and ends it with, now turn away. And they all turn away, which to me is literally he then just grabs a ladder that comes down his ship and climbs up it real quick. So then they all think he did something amazing that they weren't allowed to see.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. It's funny. He's like, don't look at this. Your human minds are not meant to see this. He was just like going to kill them all. Like, why does he care? But you know what? He does. That's very nice. And he whooshes away. He's gone. Everybody's okay. It's as if it never happened. And now our heroes are left. And then they're like, what happened? Ben's like, what happened? They're going to take Johnny downstairs. He's still fucked up from his bad trip. They got to get him some like orange juice, like some vitamin C.
He's sleeping. Yeah.
And Ben's like, whatever happened to that fucking Silver Surfer? And then the Silver Surfer,
he's so close behind.
It's so amazing.
He 100% is definitely like laying on the ground and then standing up behind him like, ooh.
And so they face off, and then at that moment, Alicia shows up, and she runs directly to the Silver Surfer and starts feeling him up. And she's like, you did it, you saved the world. And Ben's like, fuck, I knew this was going to happen someday. I'm just too creepy. So he does that big baby thing, like where he doesn't even go over and say something. He just walks away. That's the kind of thing I do. Yeah, I am like, because I'm a drama queen, and so is Ben Grimm. I mean, next issue is This Man, This Monster. He's a total drama queen.
Yeah.
So that's, he doesn't stop and say, hey, Alicia, to find out like what her thoughts are here. And in fact, as soon as he leaves, she's like, you got to meet Ben Grimm. He's the most wonderful man who ever lived. And then he takes off, and she's like, why didn't you talk to me, Ben? And now she's like, hey, so why don't you come downstairs with me? And Surfer's like, no, fuck off. I'm getting out of here.
I'm not attracted to you anymore. Goodbye.
He is now going off to explore the Earth, discover its wonders and people. And that's where Alicia goes downstairs, and she, I guess, does not find Ben. We get the newspaper and the news on where everybody's like, okay, the Fantastic Four beat Galactus, and J. Jonah Jameson calls it a hoax.
I like this because the one guy's like, the Bugle says it's a hoax, and the other guy says, I've learned that the best thing to do is read Jameson's editorials and then believe exactly the opposite opposite.
Pretty good. They should make JJJ. They made JJ good in the comics. He would have been a pretty good president for this moment in time if they had not made him good. Like if his whole presidency is just dedicated to fucking up Spider-Man, that really fits with the Trump, like where he's like dedicated to fucking up Rosie O'Donnell. Like it's just like, come on, man. Like the
Any
most powerful.
question they ask JJJ, he brings it back to Spider-Man.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
So then there's like a fat little bald guy who's upset to see that the Fantastic Four has won again.
He appears to have alopecia because he has no eyebrows either.
Yeah, I actually don't know who this guy is. I didn't look it up.
Not a clue.
The comic makes no idea. He's like, well, they're gonna fucking find out what it means to lose at the hands of a most unexpected place. Then we do a page and a half of totally disconnected football comics.
What I also like, by the way, these newspapers are coming out every 5 minutes.
They used to do that. They used to have newspapers that came out. They came out 3 times a day.
But I mean, this is literally like one of the papers has on it, Thing reported roaming streets, Dodgers press. Public asks, why does the Thing prowl back alleys of city? All of this is in one day.
That's the late edition. They really did that. They had the morning edition, they had the afternoon edition, they had the late edition, which wrapped everything up. So they used to get 3 newspapers a day. So that actually and they would rush this shit too. This was back in the day when they were like, get this shit printed. I need this for the late edition. Like, I'm not waiting around for this. You're not running this tomorrow because somebody else is going to have it. We get a page and a half of totally disconnected football comics that like kind of never actually connects.
I'm guessing it connects in later issues because this is the school that Johnny's going to, right?
Yeah, it will. And the deal is that the coach is yelling at the star quarterback who's been making time with girls instead of practicing. And the star quarterback calls the coach a loser. The coach's wife shows up. She kind of cute, frankly.
Yeah, there's definitely a part of me that wanted the coach to be like, hey, look, fine, you don't want to practice, fine. Can you tell the girls not to drive up onto the field?
Do you know how much of a pain in the ass to fucking resod this shit every single time? So she's like, can't you fucking bench him for insubordination? And he goes, I can't. He's right. Which that's not what insubordination means. It does not mean that he's wrong. It means that he was giving you attitude when he had no place to give you attitude. And so he's like, I gotta find a better fucking athlete. And then we cut to Reed watching TV. He's got a projector going. Yeah. And Sue comes in. Games, Sue comes in and she's like, "Hey, we got to talk, man. And has Johnny made it to the college yet?" And Rick doesn't even know she's in the room. And he actually stops his machine from blowing up. And then he's like, "Sue, what are you doing in here? Like, you're not supposed to come, not to pussyfoot in on me while I'm working. You might have been hurt."
This is the opposite of the last time. This time, Sue is 100% correct.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like before when the sky was on fire and she was like, he doesn't want to take me to dinner. There's stuff going on. So here, he's just tinkering with a machine, does not even realize his wife walked in and spoke. It's not like she walked in quietly. She's talking.
Right.
And he's just like, I'm going to blow up this stuff now. So it sucks.
I mean, although to be fair, he does this all the time. So even in a situation where it maybe is more crisis oriented, they still don't know at that point. All they know is that the fire was in the sky and it's gone now.
Yeah.
Nobody was hurt. Nothing happened. But even in that situation, I can see if he's doing it all the time, you're just fucking annoyed about it. Like, and you don't want to give him any fucking ground because you can't say, okay, this time it's okay that you ignore me all the time. Yeah. Meanwhile, Ben Grimm is wandering the streets and he's talking about how ugly he is. And it really makes sense that Alicia Masters would rather be with somebody who's made out of silver. And he bumps into a lady and she freaks out and she goes, "Oh, you're the Thing. I was almost terrified." And he's like, "Yeah, well, who can blame you?" He says, "Skip it, lady. I know the sight of me ain't exactly a tranquilizer." So she goes off and he's mad and he's upset about being such a big, weird creature. And he punches the wall.
Punches a hole through a wall of a building. All I could think of was somebody like the other person on the other side of the wall being like, "What the fuck? Like, what just happened?"
So in One World Under Doom, Dr. Doom cures Ben of being the Thing forever. And the problem is, like, at this point in the story, Ben loves being the Thing now. Like that's who he is. And so he fucking falls into a huge depression because he can't do anything anymore. He's just a guy now. And having lived for so long as the Thing and having come to, accept that that's who he is. And in the fucking comic, he goes to the raft and he, because Alicia's like, why are you so sad all the time? And, you're Ben Grimm again. Like, you should be happy. He goes to the raft and he goes to, what's his name? Her dad,
Puppet Master.
Puppet Master. And he makes the Puppet Master make a doll of him, because Puppet Master thinks he makes a doll, and then whatever the doll does, you do.
Yeah.
And Puppet Master's like, hey, does this work for you? And Ben takes the doll and he fucking just drags a huge smile across the doll's face. Oh. And at the end of the comic, he just has this horrible Joker smile on his face.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's really good. But I like the swap on it. You know what I mean? Like Ben's like, no, I want to be the Thing. Like, I've done so many great things, and like I've had love. I have love.
Right,
like,
he's married. Yeah.
He's married. He has kids.
He's got kids? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think they're his kids. They might be kids from space, but I think they're his kids. Anyway, how far Ben Grimm has come. I like when that happens, though, when the characters do, because it's been 60 years of him being sad about being the Thing, so it kind of does make sense.
You got to change it up.
Yeah, you got to change it up. Johnny shows up on the campus of Metro College, and he gives a long discussion of why he's in this particular car. He really does. But the purpose of that is that he borrowed it from an old flame, and he doesn't feel anything for her anymore ever since he met Crystal. He can't get Crystal out of his mind. So he goes into the building, the main building. He bumps into a dude, and they're like, "Oh boy, we're both lost." And they make friends, and it turns out
instantly forgets about Crystal. He's totally into this dude.
He loves this dude. But they become best friends.
He says, "Whatever they feed you at home, I'd like it on my diet." Like, he's fully into Wyatt Wingfoot. He is 100% into Wyatt Wingfoot.
So Wyatt Wingfoot is a Native American character, very progressive at the time. Wyatt Wingfoot later on does superhero stuff, but in his first appearances, he's just a guy.
He ends up dating She-Hulk for a while, right?
He's She-Hulk. I mean, he does like a lot of stuff. Yeah. He's a member of a totally fake Indian tribe called the Kiwazi. Sure. But I like Wyatt Wingfoot a lot. Like, he's a really good character in terms of the idea that we complain sometimes when like Spider-Man's supporting cast gets powers and stuff. Wyatt doesn't get powers. He wears costumes a couple of times, but I like the idea that in this universe, like, if you hang around these people, you are going to end up doing some wild ass shit. Like, I really kind of like that. And in fact,
he's there when they go to Wakanda for the
first time they go to Wakanda. He goes with them. Yeah, he's like, because he's Johnny's best friend. Yeah. Wyatt Wingfoot and Peter Parker are Johnny's best friends. Those are his two best friends in the whole world. So the dean finds them and he goes, "Oh, good! I'm glad to see both of you boys. I'm going to take you both into the office, and we're going to talk about your deal. Like, both of you boys are very special." Johnny is dumber than I even thought. The dean has his application with his name on it, and he's Johnny Storm of the Fantastic Four. Like, it's not like it's clear. And the dean's like, "You know what? This is going to be a pretty weird experience for you because you're the Human Torch. Everybody's going to come bother you." And Johnny's like, "The dean's right. He's a pretty sharp character. Like, give me a break, man."
Turns out I am arguably the most famous teenager in the world.
Yes, exactly. Then Johnny, though, I like this version of Johnny a lot, though, because he's stupid and also he can't pay attention. Because as the dean starts talking about what's special about Wyatt Wingfoot, he just fucking zones out.
And, to be fair, he starts off zoning out by thinking about what just happened and his trek across infinity.
Yes.
It's been a day. I don't blame him for being like, "Oh my God, everything I just went through." like, we came in these issues at the end of a major storyline where he apparently fell in love and lost that love. Then he was sent across all of infinity and back in the course of like 30 minutes. For an 18-year-old, he's had quite the day.
Yeah.
Or quite the week. It's been rough for him.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him for zoning out here.
Yeah.
For not taking Reed's advice of, just don't think about it.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. the dean's like, hey, since no, Johnny been thinking about the Inhumans again, and we cut to the Inhumans where Crystal is banging her hands against the shield. She wants to see Johnny. She's so upset. I can't tell if this is Johnny's imagination or if we're supposed to think this is really happening. I mean, it's done as his imagination, but also it feels like it's really happening.
I feel like this is what happens, like when that shield around them first appeared. I don't think she's been doing it for like 3 days. You know.
So she's like, please help me get back to Johnny. And Medusa's like, it can't be done, man. Like, you just better find somebody else to bone. And the
she's
dean,
like, "Ooh, we're all related."
the dean says, "Oh, and that's everything I had to say to you guys." And Johnny's like, "Oof, okay." The dean had told, and he's like, "Good thing the dean didn't notice I was zoning out." And the dean's like, "Maybe you should pay attention better in class than you do here in this meeting."
Great. That made me laugh so hard.
He also says to them that they should go to be roommates. And so there's something about Wyatt Wingfoot that he was told, but he didn't hear it. And that's the end of the comic. I don't actually know what Wyatt Wingfoot's secret ended up being. I mean, I think his dad's a big deal on the reservation. He might be rich too, but I don't remember. There's not like a superhero secret. You know what I mean? Like there's not. And I looked it up, but nobody has I don't know what issue that was revealed in. They ran it as like a little mystery for a couple of issues. But I don't know. So I guess, his grandfather was the tribal chief. Maybe that's the thing.
I mean, I'm guessing that Wyatt is going to become the quarterback.
I mean, kind of has to, right? Look at that fucking guy.
I mean, look at the size of him. And then you have 2 pages of the quarterback of the school's football team being a jerk. And the coach being like, I just need another great player so that I can retire. So, like, that's got to be, because it can't be Johnny. So that's my theory on what happens with Wyatt.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Wyatt does eventually graduate, and he does become a teacher on the reservation. He goes back to the res, and then he fights Annihilus.
As you do.
And the Hulk. Yeah. And Doctor Doom.
Normal Marvel things.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking special. So it's a whole fucking thing. He actually later on goes to the Savage Land too. He has a pretty cool life, man.
He's a regular Homer Simpson.
He is a regular Homer Simpson. So that's, I like Wyatt Wingfoot a lot. I like these characters that are minor characters that just sort of like keep showing up in stories and like are regular people but keep getting mixed up in the weirdest shit.
Yeah.
All right, what'd you think of these 3 issues?
They were a blast.
They're fun.
A real blast. They're very fun. I enjoyed them.
Yeah, they're really, it's really fun. It's very fascinating to see that Stan and Jack are really super making it up as they went along. They honestly had any clue what
there is the ending of the 3rd issue. There is a part of me that feels like these pages came in and Jack was like, all of a sudden we're at college. What's going on?
Stan was like that?
Or Stan was like, yeah, all of a sudden, what? Johnny's at college now? What happened?
It's just really weird.
Part of the story.
The story ends halfway through the comic.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. It's like crazy. And it has no connection. Like the thing is that like at least the Inhuman story ending halfway through the 1st issue, there's a connection because there's like, they're coming from that adventure. They're like, Johnny's upset, all this stuff that you can kind of like, but this, it just fucking ends and there's like a page and a half of unrelated football stuff.
Here's the line that I liked from Stan. Forgive us if our tale seems to ramble, but we have so many new elements to introduce, so many loose ends to tie up. It's like, you really don't. Like, this college stuff is not necessary to this storyline. It wasn't like, maybe in the Eternal story it was popping up, or the Inhuman story was popping up. I don't know. But, like, we often talk about, like, how today's comics, just storylines just go and go and go. And the old comics are great because, you read this, you're done. It seems like Fantastic Four was not doing that at this point. At this point, it is very serialized. And
heavily serialized.
Beginning and ending in random pages.
This has the feeling of a Netflix TV show. Yeah. Where you're like, they just end in the middle of a scene. And you're like, okay, I guess we'll just pick it up next time.
We'll pick it up next time, yeah.
I mean, it is really interesting. It really, really interesting. But it is cool. They're really good. I really like... I just like, the level of imagination here is really cool, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what I really like about it. This is what I like about these early Fantastic Fours is that they have little bits of canon and stuff like the Watcher and the Skrulls, but like they just keep making shit up and they just keep saying this is the biggest thing ever. This is the biggest thing ever. And I kind of love that. Like it's hard to maintain that over 60 years, but
I mean, we just read 3 issues where Galactus is about to eat the planet. And this issue ends with, for as these two figures silently fade from sight, we know full well that the danger is mounting. Danger unlike any you have ever beheld before. And it's like, I don't think so. That fat bald guy does not seem as dangerous as Galactus.
yeah, it's kind of a crazy way to end this comic. Just in general, like just them to walk down the hallway. Like it's like really like bizarre. You would like that guy who's like scheming. You end it with that. Yes. I don't understand why they don't end it with that.
No idea.
I mean, I guess because Jack turned the pages in that order.
Did he? Like for all we know, he was like, "No, that was supposed to be page 15. Why is it the last page?"
I don't know how detailed Jack and Stan were at this point in terms of breaking story.
I mean, they did it, another 55 issues of this together.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they weren't at their worst yet.
But is Stan already spread so thin that he's just telling Jack, okay, there should be a guy that comes to Earth and tries to destroy the Earth, and then like we'll do that, and then Jack just shows up with this shit? Because that's how some of these comics did work.
These stories, like there is very little doubt in my mind that Jack Kirby just came in with Galactus and Silver Surfer. I was like, I want.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I want to do these guys.
That makes a lot. Oh my god, I got so dark in here. Look at this.
Oh wow, look at you.
I didn't even notice.
That's the way it feels.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, interestingly, maybe this should have been in news. I don't know, but it's been real interesting watching interviews with the cast of Fantastic Four and Kevin Feige and everybody, and they consistently with this movie talk about Kirby. They don't talk about Stan.
Yeah, but because these designs are so Kirby specific, and this whole thing is so clearly Kirby specific, and they've talked about Stan fucking nonstop.
Oh, they talked about Stan forever, but like. I mean, they had Kirby's granddaughter at the premiere, like, and had people interviewing her. I feel like they're really, not monetarily, but
yeah, I was gonna say, paying or anything,
emotionally, trying to make amends for not giving Kirby his credit throughout the last 20 years of Marvel movies.
Maybe. I wonder if they're doing that to really plant it in the 60s, though, because obviously Kirby left Marvel halfway through the 70s.
Yeah.
And so maybe they're really trying to make sure that people understand this is... Well, I guess if you know when Kirby left Marvel, you don't have to be told that this is set in the 60s. You can see it on screen in the trailer. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I mean, maybe it's they just talked about Stan so much that they're just like tired of saying, Stan Lee did. Now they have something different to talk about. So anyway... I liked this as well.
Yeah, it's a real.
Next week we're gonna go back to the wonderful world of Superman, and we are going to read Action Comics number 23, which gives us the first appearance of Lex Luthor. So that's pretty exciting. This is not the comic in which he has his hair blown off.
No, he has full red hair in this comic.
Yeah, just as a heads up, he does not get his hair blown off in this comic. I'm surprised James Gunn didn't put that into the Superman movie.
I'm so happy he didn't. I'm so tired of Lex Luthor having hair in the movies.
No, I'm saying don't get it blown off.
Oh, yeah, but then he'd have to have hair, and that wouldn't happen until the end. And it'd be like, once again, we have to learn the origin of why Lex Luthor is bald. Like,
yeah, but the origin is that Superman blew it off his head, which is like amazing.
there is a wonderful interview with Gunn, Holt, Brosnahan, and Corn Sweat, where they're answering like the most asked questions about Superman, and one of them is, "What happened to Lex Luthor's hair?" And they're all like, "I don't know, did he shave it or something? What happened to his hair?" And James Gunn goes, "No, Superman blew it off in a chemical fire." And they're like, "What?" He's like, "It's a long story."
I think it was Superboy who did it, though, technically.
I'm pretty sure he says Superman, but you might say Superboy.
I mean, Superman is good.
Oh, no, he does, because he says, Superman and Lex were childhood friends, and as a boy, he blew it off. He blew Lex's hair off.
So fucking great.
Yeah.
There's a great bit in Superman Up in the Sky where he's flying this girl around the galaxy and she's asking him a million questions and she goes, "Did you really blow Lex Luthor's hair off?" And Superman goes, "He thinks I did."
I love that story. That is a
really
great series. That was from, for a very short time, DC started putting out like these 100-page issues that were only available at like Target. And they did a Superman one and they did a Batman one. And one of the best Superman stories, definitely of the last decade, maybe of all time, Superman Up in the Sky, is in the Superman one. And then in the Batman one, there was Batman Infinite, I think is what it was called. And that is one of the best Batman stories of the last decade, if not of all time. Where in that one, Batman is traveling through time and trying to stop crazy stuff from happening. It's amazing. It's a great story.
It's crazy because when I went on the DC Universe Infinite app, I was looking like, what are great Superman stories? And they have a section for great Superman stories, and it is not in that section. And
That's wild.
I think it's probably slept on because it appeared in Walmart comics.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's the thing. It's slept on.
It is wild because it is such a good story.
Yeah.
There's the whole sequence when Superman's like chained up and whatnot, and the guy's got him chained up is like, "You will submit to the greatest evils," and blah 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 blah. And he's like, "No, sir, I will not." And it's like, "Yes, Superman."
It's really good.
It's so good.
The DNA of that comic is all over Gunn's movie.
Yeah, I mean, Gunn and
Tom King
they're
is
buddy.
Yeah, they're buddy. Yeah. All right, we'll see you guys again next week. Until then, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you be well, but most of all, may you remain a true believer.